Get
Stating.
We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Remember he say his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Remember he say his squad, his squad, his squad, his squad. His squad, 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 his squad. I got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes. You done took the wrong route. We gon' crash you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad. It's defended by a line and some beasts on the feast on our position. Another line in the back, singing to the ER just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! What is you trying to play me? We be 3 plus AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't never do great beat. Beat great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck, gotta play. We gon' defend, we gon' defend, we gon' defend, we gon' defend. Homie, this side, homie, this side. And we gon' defend, and we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend, we gon' defend, we gon' defend. Homie, this side, homie, this side. And we gon' defend, and we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad, 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 his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. Got saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. Get in that box. Like I'm red. I knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building, me and Shot Jones. We do lane, we don't play zone. We play that man, so guard your hands. I see your eyes, you're scared,
we
man.
We gon' defend, we gon' defend, we gon' defend. Homie, this side, homie, this side. And we gon' defend, and we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend, we gon' defend, we gon' defend. Homie, this side, homie, this side. And we gon' defend, and we gon' defend. Remember he say his squad, 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 his squad.
Too nice.
Yo, welcome to Miami, Magic City.
Solo.
City you love to come visit.
Un cafecito en la mañana para levantar el ánimo.
Gracias.
Okay, vámonos, born in the Bronx, raised in Dade, been in the city since Pit had braids. Baja panty parties, but I know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings, every day we need a house. It's game time, the game's mine, you know the vibe. Yo viajaba el mundo entero, rapping 305. La comida, la mujer, la cultura. La vecina con su gallo, qué locura. En el verano es verano y en invierno el verano. Dime qué ciudad lo tiene así bacano. Cocaine capital, so guess what, we been good. We know to flip things, do what we did to win. D-A-D-E. Welcome to Miami, the city that made me.
I got a pair of flip-flops and a tank top.
Only in there.
Lights got spinning, now I can't stop.
Only in there.
Sipping cafecito and them little cups.
Only in there.
In Miami, we get it loud like the Super Bowl. In Miami, we get it loud like the Super Bowl. Pissed off cause I'm sitting in this traffic. Still got the speaker system blasting. Praying that I got enough gas. Cut the AC off so it's lasting. Man, it's just another day and day. Hunting for the pay. Hungry now, I got a video on the play. Gotta work tomorrow, but I stayed up late. I ain't taking nails, so I'm drawing up a play. Yo, see my homeboy say, yo, the city never sleeps. Tell me where you wanna go. We can take it down, stop chilling on the floor. Or go to Biscayne where they got a light show. Or hit the west side chillin' with the Chico. Get a whole meal out the side of the road. Whoa. Hey, you see Lil Mama right there? Hey, I'm saying no. I got a pair of flip-flops and a tank top. Only in there. Lights got spinning, now I can't stop. Only in there. Sippin' cafecito at them little cups. Only in there. In my head, we get it loud like the Super Bowl. In my head, we get it loud like the Super Bowl. Let's go. Do a two-step than the Henny song. Drink in my cup, got me plenty gone. At the block party, it was out the chain. Just to have a check, got a Dolphins game. But I'm still vibing, 9-5 sliding. Car next to me, ain't got no business driving. Now I'm paranoid and it's getting real annoying. What make it even worse, I know that they ain't got insurance. I hope it don't crash. Get up out my lane, I'ma have to call 1-800, say I'm in pain. Get a check and a smile. Man, this shit wild. Should've stayed live, we don't never turn it down. That's why we love it. Every day we on the grind to get out the bucket. Waiting on the chicken tender sub, selling puppies. Not for real though, man. You ain't never had one of them? Yeah. Look, I got a pair of flip-flops and a tank top. Only in there. Lights got spinning, now I can't stop. Only in there. Sippin' cafecito at them little cups. Only in there. In my head, we get it loud like the Super Bowl. In my head, we get it loud like the Super Bowl.
Only in there.
Who that?
So low, so low, so low, D.
D Miami Sports Music, salute.
All right, no,
Bless up. We got Finger Licking live.
Know, man.
It's Kane over here. Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You seen Big Homie get a fumble? He get a turnover chain. Seen Big Homie get the pick off? He get a turnover chain, 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 turnover chain. You see the whole crowd going user? We want the turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy? We want that turnover chain, turnover chain. Turnover chain is deeper than jewelry, deeper than blink. It's deeper. See, this is our thing, and you was the team, it's strictly for Kane. Invented the swag, you rented and brag, but we want it back. Let me get that. But you can keep the old one, cause we keep something new in the bag. All of these players is hungry, don't come in here thinking it's funny. We aiming for something, rocking the chains when it's sunny. Even when raining or slumming, we ain't gonna be slumming. I hope your quarterback don't think it's sweet. The defense will make them take a seat. And if somebody strip the ball out, let somebody get a Cuban link. Now you know how I go with the fans though. We be going wild out in the stands though. If you're not with the team, you're not familiar. If you throwing U's up, you're not familiar. Come on, get loose like a band, trombone. Throw 3 or 5 up, my home. CWA, tell them about it. All the Canes going wild when we yelling this out. Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You seen Big Homie get the fumble? He get a turnover chain. Seen Big Homie get the pick up? He get a turnover chain, 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 turnover chain. You see the whole crowd going user? We want the turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy? We want that turnover chain. Who that?
So low, so low, D. So low, so low, so low, D.
It's some Canes over here. It's some Canes over here.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live as my camera messes up there. What's going on? How y'all doing? Y'all like the new lid I got yesterday? I went out and hung out with the family after the doctor, and we went to Hat World. We went to Lids, and I saw this ABA Miami Floridians hat, and I had to get it. I had to get it for y'all. Miami Floridians ABA is sweet. I like it. I don't care what y'all say. I like it a lot. I think it's fire. Old ABA. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Stephen D, home on the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. Want to say good morning to my Fins family and Fin-laws. What is up? What's good? Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. My flag is messed up. I didn't even see my flag was messed up. All right. There we go. There we go. And everything. Look, it's all breaking. It's all breaking this morning, everything. I'm having one of those mornings. It's just another Friday this morning. Okay. All right. Fixed everything. My phone was dropping. This was dropping. I didn't know what to do there for a minute. God. All right. Now I'm here. All right, let's get this party started. Let me do all my housekeeping stuff. Hey, look, right here. If you haven't hit that like button yet, subscribe. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Do that for me right now. Only 18 likes. Come on. You. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you right there. The one who's on your toilet seat right now. On the throne. Hit the like button. Come on. Hit the like button. Let's go. All right, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Also, hey, if you haven't signed up to become a new YouTube member today, make sure you sign up today, become a new YouTube member. Would love to see you become part of the family. Okay? Sign up today, become part of the family. Would love to see that for you. Okay? Make sure you guys do that. All right. Also, hey, if you guys want to donate to the channel, help the channel grow, there's a couple different ways you guys can do that. First way you guys can do that is use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. Today is Spread Kindness Friday. It is Spread Kindness Friday. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Also, if you guys want to donate, a couple of other ways, you guys can use PayPal or you guys can use Cash App. You see these QR codes here. Both of these QR codes work, but if you look in the description below, you will see the link to PayPal and you will see the link to Cash App. Feel free to donate through there. There's always less fees when you guys donate through those ways. But I take any and all donations, even if it's through the YouTube Live Super Chat, because I know how convenient that is. I don't care if it's $1. Okay. Also, want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter. Big shout out to Tail Greeter. If you don't know who Tail Greeter is, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but download them. They have an app. It's free. Go download it. Also, go to tailgreeter.com and follow them on social media. If you are not following them on social media, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but go follow them, okay? Also, if you could do me a huge, humongous favor, okay? Follow at MIA Sports Music on Twitter and also on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Miami Sports Music. And if you could follow me on social media, I won't be mad at you too. All right, because that is follow me at Stephen D SKPL, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and also TikTok at Stephen D SKPL. So if you're not following me on Twitter right now, go follow me. Go follow me. Okay? What is up, everybody? How y'all doing this morning? How you all doing this morning? Green Ep says the PayPal link doesn't work. All right, hold on. Let me help you out here. There we go. Copy. Bam. Right there in the chat. Should work. Should work there. Shake Money says this PayPal link isn't working. That should work, gentlemen. You guys do like the hat, I see. That's cold, Steven. Good morning, family. Van Joe, my Vin Diesel voice. Family. I like it. What's going on, everybody? Stephen D, the GOAT of sports radio. Oh, You're making me blush. Don't make me blush, man. All right, man. Hey, look, we got a lot to talk about this morning. We're obviously going to talk Miami Dolphins and some of the news that kind of broke yesterday or didn't break yesterday, better yet. And yeah, man, just a lot of stuff to obviously talk about. So first things first, I just want to kind of get the other, these other great Miami teams out of the way so we can talk Miami Dolphins football talk. Florida Panthers won yesterday 4-1. Awesome victory. They are 30-9. 30-9. 30-9. Like they are, I don't care what anybody says, they're the best team in hockey right now. I watched a little bit of the game last night. They're good. They are seriously, it's crazy, right? Because I'm a little bit above the average hockey fan. And so what I can tell you is watching this team is just fun to watch. And I think that's the first step into making a new fan or more than a casual fan is you need to be fun to watch, which is part of the Miami Dolphins problem. It's tough to get that newer generation to follow the team if you don't have an exciting product out on the field. So I'm watching the Florida Panthers, and it's an exciting product. This team is putting up 4, 5, 6, 9 goals. When they're playing at home in front of their home fans, they've only lost 3 times this year in front of their home fans. Like, that says a lot. That says a lot about your team and your product and what you're doing and what you're putting out onto the field. So, look, I'll say this. I think that is how you create a fan base. That is how you create a franchise. And Florida Panthers already had one, but it's growing. It's ever growing. And so it's just a lot of fun out there in Sunrise. And, it's definitely going to be awesome. So make sure you guys go check that out. And my goal is to talk about them more because they're a good team and they're in South Florida. They're part of the Miami Raucous. And I said raucous because, like, there's a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to Miami sports, even though the Dolphins, unfortunately, are not one of them right now, although we all love them. Speaking of other great Miami teams, Miami plays tonight against another Los Angeles team. The Los Angeles Clippers come into Miami tonight at 8 o'clock. I'll be perfectly honest. I think it's going to be another win for the Heat. The Heat, obviously, winning their last game. I want to say it was against the Knicks, 110-96. They beat the Lakers before that, 113-107. They barely lost to Atlanta, but they beat the Trailblazers. They beat the Raptors. They're a good team too, and so you're looking at Colin L says the Lightning own the Panthers. Don't lie, Steven. Hey, bro, that is right now. Don't worry about it. It's coming. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get theirs. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's coming, Colin. Don't you even worry about it. Chef Zeus says, subscribe, like, share, and donate. Become a member today. Your seat is waiting for you. Join the family. Join the family, y'all. Definitely want to see. If you see in the link in the description below, you'll see the join. Definitely make sure you do that. Spread Kindness Friday is in the building. So, look, let's get into talking about the Miami Dolphins and kind of the NFL news that came out yesterday. Nathaniel Hackett going to Denver, which I think is going to be big, playing into the Aaron Rodgers situation as we move forward. I think you're also going to see Matt LaFleur. I can't say his last name. Taking a job yesterday with the Chicago Bears. Is he really an upgrade from Matt Nagy? I'm not sure, but it'll be definitely interesting to kind of see as that process moves forward. And then, the question mark of Jacksonville, is Byron Leftwich going to take that job? Is he not? You also have to realize the Giants, as well as the Dolphins, now are into their second round of interviews. The news breaking sometime in the afternoon that Adam Schefter releasing that the Miami Dolphins are going to do a second round of interviews with their finalists. And it looks like it's between McDaniel, Brian Daboll, and Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn also stating yesterday that he is going to stay in Dallas because he wants to win in Dallas, which will be very interesting to see how that goes. So, yeah, man. I I'm not sure what to say other than the Dolphins. Look, I want to say that there's something about each of these guys that I like, but that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. I want to see the Dolphins obviously make the right decision, but I don't, it's funny. Like in past years, we can say, hey, look, the team has been this good. This is what we're doing. And this is the direction that the franchise is moving in. I can't say that. And this is the first, and don't get me wrong, it's not like they've made the right decision or moved forward in that position in a while. But I can honestly say, like, I don't know what direction the franchise is heading. I know the direction they want to move forward in. And I also know where they're going to. Or where they're likely going to. Where they're likely going to is being in the same position 2 or 3 years from now. And as much as I want a head coach with coaching experience, and by the way, I think that is the reason to go, the way to go, mind you. If McDaniel ends up being the guy, I actually think there's more hope for the team than there is if Brian Daboll comes on board, or any other coach named Brian. So, look, I don't know where the Dolphins move forward into here. I just think, and look, I would love to see them go after Harbaugh, right? I'd love to see Harbaugh be the guy. Danny Musselwhite says the Dolphins are buying time. They are going after Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh is the guy, the Dolphins did the right thing. They did the right thing if that's what happens. I don't think that's going to happen. There's nothing that showed me that said that they are. So look, I think it'll be very interesting to see where this team goes. I'm interested to get your thoughts on it in the chat. I have a link for you guys to come on. We're going to do a panel this morning. That's going to be the show for Spread Kindness Friday. Make sure you donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's have a great show today. Yeah, man, let's have fun. It's Spread Kindness Friday. The Miami Floridians are in the house today, the ABA franchise. I love this hat, man. This hat is fire. All right, let me bring on my first main man, Smoke McCorkle, a.k.a. D1.
What's good, Steven? How you been?
It's been a while, man. How are you been?
I've been good. Just recharging, seeing how this coaching show is going.
It's been a crazy week and a half, right? 2 weeks, right? And it's been a lot of tension, dissension and tension within the fan base. What are your thoughts about the fan base right now and just how all this is playing out? I feel like the longer they take, the more crazier it gets within the fan base.
I mean, this fan base has been fractured, Steven. It's been broken. It's been toxic, and yeah, you're right. The longer it takes, the more toxic and more frantic this fan base becomes with 100%. These culture hires or people afraid we're going to get Vance Joseph, and they're getting angry because we're getting Vance Joseph. Get angry about nothing, to be honest, because we don't know. Nobody knows.
I mean, and that's what I was just saying a minute ago. Like in the past, I could say, hey, look, the direction this franchise is moving is the direction that I think, is good for the franchise. We'll see how it plays out. Like there's always been some optimism. There's always been some positivity linked to it. There is no positivity or optimism I have for almost all the coaching candidates, with the exception of a little bit of the unknown in McDaniel. And because I look at the Sean McVay, right? I look at what Sean McVay did, and I looked at Kyle Shanahan and those guys, and even we can go to Cincinnati and go to Zach Taylor, right? So we can go to those places and look at them being great coaching. Part of their coaching staff weren't really maybe ready, according to the NFL, maybe to take that next step, but they got the coaching interviews and obviously got the jobs, and it worked out well. And so I think the same thing for McDaniel. McDaniel might not be ready to make that step, but if he kicked butt in the coaching interview and the team seems, hey man, there's something about this kid, there's the optimism there. But you go and look at like Leslie Frazier, Brian Daboll, like any of these guys who
So
have
you're
a
not
former coaching
optimistic about Brian Daboll?
No, not at all. I think his track record speaks for itself. It's not good. I don't like Daboll in any way, shape, or form, dude. Like, there's nothing about him that makes
So
me.
you'll be upset if they hire Daboll, who
It's
they
not
saying is the favorite right now, quote unquote the favorite. We don't know.
To me, D1, it won't even be mad. It'll just be like, bro, we're gonna be in the same path to, if not 1 year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now. I could even see this coach, whoever it is, getting fired after 1 year if it all turns to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not out of the question.
So you feel as though Brian Daboll is strictly a hire for Tua?
I mean, there's no other reason to bring Daboll in my opinion.
So
no,
wouldn't you want an offensive-minded coach, or you want defensive-minded? If it's because whether it's Daboll is so-called fired after this year or whatever like that, I would still want an offensive-minded head coach.
So
because we have no identity.
No, I think you bring on a great point. So here's my view on it. I don't care who they bring in as head coach. I just want that head coach to bring on great defense and offensive coordinators. And I think that's where you succeed, is with a better coaching staff around you, right? Like, we know what Flores' weaknesses were. Flores' weaknesses were
anything on offense.
Well, I mean that, but like not being able to bring in a good coaching staff. Like, he had to take over plays for Boyer. So it's not like the defensive coaches that are here now are great either.
Well, that's why I don't understand the fixation of keeping these defensive coaches. I mean,
because we have a great defense, but I think that's masked by having Brian Flores, who's one of the best defensive play callers.
I think we could be better on defense. Once a team starts breaking down our AA gap, formation, what else do we do well on defense? What other formation are we good in this defense besides the AA gap and running whatever plays out of that formation? It's like we got to wait until we get them to a third and long situation for that defense to be maximized.
I mean, you're talking about like a formation. Like, I don't even think that's the question to be asking. I think the question is whoever the head coach is, are they retaining the current coaching staff, or are they bringing in?
Well, to be honest, I don't want to retain everybody on the defensive side of the ball. The Jared Alexanders, I would want to keep, and then Marion Lobby, whatever his name is, I would want to keep, and stuff like that. But I mean, we finished in the middle on defense. We finished 15th.
Yeah, and the news came out, and the news came out yesterday. I know it's not defense, but Charlie Fry, leaving the Dolphins, the quarterback coach.
Oh yeah.
And so,
I like what they were saying on Twitter. Daboll will bring in Ken Dorsey as OC, and he'll bring in Wink Martindale as DC. I would love that. I would love that.
I
would love Wink Martindale as a defensive coordinator.
I would be okay with that. Let me bring on Cameron, my usual co-host for Fridays on Spread Kindness Friday. What's up, Cameron?
Hey, what's up? Good morning, man. Busy morning.
It is a busy morning, man. You heard me and D1 talk here. Any thoughts on what we're talking about from the standpoint of, retaining old coaching staff, or, Daboll himself? Anything to talk about with that standpoint?
Just from a 10,000 foot view. And good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning, Cam.
Yeah. Happy Friday. The one thing that Ross we've gone through this now, 4 or 5 times now with Ross during his ownership tenure, is that he keeps us in the dark. Like, he keeps his cards close to the vest. The fact that there's 3 candidates that we know about for the head coaching position leads me to believe there's probably 3 more that we don't know about. And it's surprising to see Kellen Moore included in the group with Daboll and McDaniel. But it's also curious that folks that 2 coaching candidates that seem obvious aren't even on that list, or maybe even didn't get interviewed. And who
are you talking about, Cam?
Caldwell and Peterson.
Well, Peterson was my first choice, and it seems as though Jim Caldwell doesn't want to come back here. I saw some reports that he don't want even care to be interviewed or something like that. But the Peterson stuff, I just learned yesterday because I was wondering why we haven't brought in Doug Peterson, or his name has been brought out, is that he is still making $4 million from the Eagles this year. So why would you go into coach? He could sit on his butt for one more year, collect that $4 million, and then be a hot coaching candidate next offseason.
Hey, and you know, and maybe just because he's available doesn't mean that he wants to be here either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I think Caldwell, you know, is a good example of that. He's been here, done that, and understands maybe, you know, the fish stinks from the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that when you look at, you know, the standpoint of the Dolphins moving forward and the fan base being divided, and what we were talking about a little bit ago, is the options that are being presented in front of us as a fan base all have negative, you know, there's negatives in the negative column to them. And there's probably more negatives than there are positives with all of those candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Daboll doesn't have a great track record. I mean,
never been a head coach.
Never been a head coach, right? McDaniel, never been a head coach. Who knows if he's calling the plays? We know he's instituting the plays.
He don't call plays.
Exactly.
He don't call plays.
So, like, you know, there's and what type of coaching staff could he put together? I believe Daboll could actually probably put a coaching staff together because he's been somewhere every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. He's been around the longest.
He's been around.
He's been around. You've been around. Shoot.
Well, you've also, you know, you guys have outlined, you know,
the reason the squeakiest chair in the world, Cameron.
No, I know. I got it.
WD-40, man.
Oh, it's not WD-40. Damn it. I meant to go get it out of the garage. I forgot. But you guys have outlined why Daboll might be the best candidate, you know, and the fact that he has known commodities in the coaching staff, Wink Martindale and Ken Dorsey, and bringing them in here as OC and DC. Those are names we're familiar with. I think the fact that the point that scares us as a fan base is that we don't know who McDaniel would bring to the table. We don't know, you know, who Vance Joseph would bring to the table. We don't know anybody else, you know, who's a candidate that, you know, who would they bring to the Kellen Moore? Who would he bring to the table? So
that's one of the other finalists. That's one of the other finalists.
So basically, out of the three, Daboll will have the best chance of assembling a good coaching staff.
Well,
compared to
we know
McDaniel.
Well, here's the other thing about, like, Kellen Moore being named a finalist too. Like, Kellen Moore being named a finalist is hilarious to me because we just saw Dan Quinn state publicly, "I'm staying in Dallas because I want an opportunity to win a Super Bowl with this team coming up." Right?
No, he also knows that maybe his best path to a head coaching position with the best, you know, team on the field is in Dallas. You know, to me, it sounds like Mike McCarthy's a lame duck coach, right?
Oh, 100%.
I feel as though, like you said, he's a lame duck coach, and you know how Jerry likes to hire from within. He's going to make Dan Quinn the head coach next offseason.
Yeah, but Josh, there's a rumor that Josh McDaniels is now getting, like, I would have said that about New England. I thought Josh McDaniels was next in line, but I'm hearing McDaniels is now getting interviews again, which I never thought his name would come back now.
McDaniels always gets interviews and turns down interviews or go to interviews and stay with the Patriot bitches. That's what he does.
He tried that, right? Like, he went to, you know, he was a head coach. Was it Indianapolis? I can't remember.
Yeah, he was going to be the head coach and turned it down. Like, they was getting ready to.
He accepted the job. He accepted the job, and then a few days later was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay where I'm at.
You know, and who knows how long Belichick is going to, you know, continue coaching, and maybe, you know, Daniels just waiting for.
I would think McDaniels is the heir apparent.
Yeah,
the clear heir apparent to the Patriots. Once Belichick leaves, to keep that continuation with Mac Jones if he is their future.
You know, I would say this: if Brian Daboll was the clear-cut choice, I think, you know, he would have either. And there's reports out there that he's reviewing a contract offer right now from the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Who is
Daboll?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
So
this
that's the other thing too. So yesterday, TD brought up a really good point that I really was trying. I wasn't trying to give much I don't want to say I wasn't trying to. Matter of fact, here's TD. What's up, TD? How are you?
What's up, man? I'm here to talk bad about Daboll. Let's go.
Well, I was literally about to bring up your point in the standpoint of, if you're looking at it, you were saying that he's got his choice of the litter. He's either going to pick the Giants or the Dolphins. Daboll.
Man, it's beyond that. Okay, say he picked the Dolphins. Okay.
Okay.
Daboll is, first of all, he has no resume. It's the worst out of all of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because everywhere he's gone, he's failed except Buffalo. But everybody knows Josh Allen's leap is because of Ken Dorsey. And I keep forgetting the other guy's name.
I know who you're talking about.
Everybody in Buffalo knows. Nobody in Buffalo gives Daboll credit for Josh Allen. So when people bring in Daboll to help Tua, why? He's not the one who helped Josh Allen. And then people say, well, he'll be able to bring Ken Dorsey. Well, you got to look out for the general manager that just got hired in New York.
Exactly.
The general manager in New York is more likely to get Ken Dorsey than Daboll. You know why? Because the Giants already decided they're going to move on with their quarterback. And this false narrative out here that look at how the Giants came out definitively about their quarterback to give him an opportunity to have a leap like Josh Allen, but our owner won't come do the same thing about Tua. When the Giants owner said that they put trash around him, why can't our owner do that? Because everybody's failing to realize what the Buffalo Bills said whenever they moved on with Josh Allen to keep him, and what the Giants general manager just said the other day of why they're moving on with Daniel Jones. The reason why those guys struggle early and they still got a chance to be moved on with, and the Giants owner said it perfectly yesterday. We're not moving on from him because he has pure athleticism. He has the ability to run just like Josh Allen. He has amazing arm strength. His smarts of picking up an offense and understanding things are amazing. You can't just give up on those raw talents. Not just a quarterback you don't give up on because you want to put things around them to see what they are. But you don't give up on guys who have the raw talent, those intangibles like that. And that's why they're going to keep moving forward with Daniel Jones. So
but yet Daniel Jones almost has 60 turnovers in the last 3 years. But yet Daniel Jones still has horrible pocket presence.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But guess what? When you have a cannon, when you can run, you have an element that extends your shelf life to give you one more year. Imagine if he didn't have those things and he did all of that. He would have already been gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So he could turn the ball over just like y'all say Peyton Manning turned the ball over all them times.
So because he has amazing physical traits, but isn't a good passer of the football. But yet not a good passer of the football. That's why they're going to extend his shelf life.
Hey, let me ask you guys.
That's not true. That
is true.
That's just like Peyton Manning. Was he a good passer of the football his rookie year?
We're going into year 4. We're going into year 4 of Daniel Jones.
You work with those traits and try to tap into them.
This is his first year. You're acting like this is his first year.
Hey, TD, to your point.
You also have to understand in Daniel Jones' first year, you remember when we had Ryan Fitzpatrick and that team where we had everybody that was playing that should have worked at a grocery store? That was Daniel Jones' first 2 years.
That was Daniel Jones. Whoa. So you're telling me Sterling Shepard, their receiver, is trash? You're telling me Saquon is trash? You're telling me Evan Ingram is trash or Pro Bowl tight end?
You're talking about 1 or 2 people, and then Saquon had his
I just named 3 people.
Yeah, but you're talking about different circumstances with different issues, like a running back who misses a whole year And don't mention the fact that Daniel Jones had his injuries too. All I'm saying to you is whether you agree.
So he's
with
injury
it or
prone.
not,
So he's injury prone.
yeah, maybe. But whether you agree with it or not, they're more likely to not give up off of immense physical traits than they are just a quarterback who you want to build around. That's all I'm saying. But
Cameron,
the whole point
you
of the
can't,
matter,
you can't see
one
that
second.
just coach speak or GM speak, because the next year's draft class, they're going to be more quarterbacks being able to come out, and the Giants have hella draft picks, draft capital. You don't think that they just want to stick him for 1 year and then go into
and that's
next
why
year?
they got an opportunity to give him one more year. You
Cameron.
might be right, but they're going to do everything they can to see if they can tap those elements of his arm strength and his ability to be mobile. They love that about him.
Hey, TD,
All
so
I'm
going
saying
back
to you is,
TD, going back to the original statement about the coaching, we're talking about.
quarterback do you think Ken Dorsey would rather work with? One with physical attributes
TD's got bad phone service
like that, or the other one?
Hey, TD.
I would think you want a quarterback that can throw the damn ball.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Accurately.
Hey, TD, has Ken Dorsey been actually officially announced or interviewed as a head coaching candidate?
Ken Dorsey? No, Ken Dorsey
I haven't
hasn't
even
been.
seen that anywhere.
Ken Dorsey hasn't been.
Because they've been talking about how if Brian
He's going to be an
moves,
OC somewhere, whether it's
Yeah,
Buffalo,
they've
Miami, or
been-
the Giants.
Exactly. Either he's going to go with Brian Daboll to wherever he goes, or he may stay with the Bills, or he could be the OC and have their continuity over there. Because
Ken Dorsey will be an offensive coordinator next year with one of three teams: the Bills, the Giants, or the Dolphins. That's it. That's where Ken Dorsey will be next year.
So what's the attraction for him to leave Buffalo, right?
There is
Right.
none.
If Daboll leaves Buffalo, he's assuming he's immediately elevated OC.
I personally have said this. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form on the planet that Ken Dorsey leaves Buffalo, because it's a perfect situation for Dorsey. He gets to take over Daboll, right? And he gets Josh Allen, he gets Stephon Diggs, he gets a contender and a team in Buffalo. Who else is going to give him that? Not the Giants, not the Dolphins.
That's not true, Steven. That's not true, Steven. What you have to understand about OCs like that, for their resume, everybody in league circles know Ken Dorsey gets a little bit of the credit for Josh Allen. He already has that cachet. He don't need to stay to keep getting endorsement. What will separate him from the competition is going somewhere else and doing the same thing. And then he will be a head coach immediately.
So basically, if
That's
Ken Dorsey goes somewhere and is successful, he's basically a 1-year rental for that team. Because he will be a hot
1 or 2 years, a 1 or 2 year rental. That's how it works. If you can prove, you tell me, if you were the hiring manager, what you want? A guy who was with Josh Allen, who gets credit and stayed with him, to hire him as a head coach? Or do you want the guy who helped Josh Allen, went to another place and helped another young quarterback thrive? Who gets the job first?
All right, so Cameron, TD, let me ask you something, bud. Or let me make a statement and then ask you. So I get the point you're trying to make. And you know what that sounds like a little bit to me? Common sense. That sounds like common sense to me. Hey, I'm a quarterback's coach who already gets credit for what the offense has done here on this team. If I really want to make myself a hot coaching candidate and I believe in myself that much, I go to a team that isn't as established. I help their offense become great or good, and all of a sudden I'll become a hot coaching candidate. But if I stay in Buffalo, I get to play it safe. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that on his end, by the way. Now, with that also being said, let's say they do better with Dorsey at OC than they did with Daboll, and they end up going to a Super Bowl next year, Buffalo. Dorsey now all of a sudden becomes the favorite right away.
Do you have for the? What upside do you have in Buffalo to do better? What upside do you have? Look at that offense.
We don't know. We don't know.
Are you gonna bet on Dorsey doing better?
Well,
no. What are the odds?
So TD, would you rather have your quarterback be Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, or Tua Tagovailoa?
Josh Allen all day, right?
Okay, so what? So you answered my question for me. Ken Dorsey's going to stay in Buffalo.
And who's the closest to winning a Super Bowl?
Buffalo.
I can't believe that. Hold on, I can't believe this is a debate. Do you know why it took Daboll 25 years to be a head coach? Because he's been on Super Bowl winning staff.
Daboll's a joke. I'm going to say it right now. The fact that he is even close to getting a head coaching job says so much about where this team is at as a franchise.
Don't forget, he was with the pay.
TD, you're breaking up, bro. What are you doing? I'm going to let TD go for a second, and hopefully he'll come back in.
Yeah, he breaking up bad.
He's breaking up bad. So, I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, when you're really looking at it, I don't think there's anything to say from the standpoint of if you look at the Miami Dolphins and what they're going to do moving forward, you have to see what the best option for them is. But is Daboll the best option? In no way, shape, or form do I think that.
Let me ask you, Steven, tell me why Daboll is not the best option.
Because look at his track record.
Look at his track record.
He hasn't been good anywhere he's been. I'll bring TD back.
My bad. I don't know what's
but
going on.
Hold on. Let's finish this thought, Steven. You said Daboll hasn't been good anywhere he's been.
With the exception of the last 2 years in Buffalo.
No, he's won 5 Super Bowl rings as assistant coach with the Patriots. So stop. My point is that he's building.
Daboll has never been an assistant coach. Daboll has never been an assistant coach. Go look at his resume. It's offensive assistant. That's the bottom of the barrel. That's like one of those freaking equipment managers.
I'm not finishing my point here. He's been on staff, is what I'm saying. He's been an assistant coach, whether he's an offensive assistant or not. Hey, listen, I am not protecting Daboll. I don't think he's the best guy, TD. Stop it. My point
is... but when you say that, you act like he gets credit.
I am not saying that. I am not saying that. My point is that he's got Super Bowl experience. He is building up his resume to be a head coach, right?
That is not Super Bowl experience. When you first enter into the NFL, when you first enter into the freaking NFL, and you're one of those equipment manager, offensive assistant guys, you don't have Super Bowl experience. Stop.
You're so high right now. It's nice.
What are you talking about? Maybe you should ask the people, man, is that Super Bowl experience? Because if that was Super Bowl experience, 5 freaking years of it, then tell me why he was getting promoted, then he got demoted twice. Tell me why he had he became a coordinator and had the 30th ranked offense and then the 28th ranked offense.
That's not my point, TD.
But it is a point, Cameron.
And it's a valid Super Bowl experience.
He is. Oh my God.
All right, hold on. TD, let Cameron go. Let Cameron finish his point.
My point is that he has experience on Super Bowl winning teams. He's building a resume, right? That's his point. His next logical step is head coach because he's now offensive coordinator for a Super Bowl worthy team.
Okay? So let me stop you. Let me pause you for a second, Cameron. With the exception of the last 2 years, which I personally don't give him credit for. That's just the outside looking in. Okay, 3 years. Which I don't give him credit for. Okay, I give the GM and the head coach more credit than him. I would go as far to say is that everywhere he's been
you're not giving Brian Daboll no credit for Josh Allen, or is it all Ken Dorsey?
Nobody in Buffalo gives him credit for Josh Allen.
So it's all Ken Dorsey.
I don't know if it's all Ken Dorsey, but
there's one other guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Look at the GM. Look at who he brought in. The GM's the one who made the trade for Diggs. The Diggs opens up that offense, doesn't he? Right?
Once they got Diggs, that's when Josh Allen started.
The moment they got Diggs, you saw Josh Allen turn from a totally different quarterback to a good one.
Listen, I don't think Daboll's leaving Buffalo. I really don't. I don't see a reason why he would.
What,
Hold
bro?
on.
You don't think
he's
Daboll's
leaving.
taking a head coaching position?
He's leaving, bro. He's
Listen,
leaving.
it is. We have 3 options right now, all of them bad, right? Daboll is maybe outside of Vance Joseph might be the worst of the 3, but only because he's built up his resume the most is he considered. That's my point. Like I really think like he would have been hired. Like Ross has the capabilities to sway anybody's opinion with the money he's got, right? He can make him the highest paid coach in the damn NFL if he wants. But I think that position would have already been filled if Daboll truly thought Miami was a good position or Ross thought Daboll was the number 1 candidate. I think it's the guy from San Francisco.
Who,
But
McDaniel? I think McDaniel. I said earlier this morning. I said, "Whoa,
TD, you just crashed."
No, that was D1.
I crashed.
What happened now?
We heard your background and Cam asked TD if he crashed. It sounded
TD
like
ran into a building.
Yeah, that was my background.
Josh Allen.
What I'm saying is, I said earlier, I think McDaniel brings the most optimism to this team. He brings the most hope, actually, to this team.
I agree.
But for the same reason that he brings the hope and optimism is the same reason I really don't want him, and that is the unknown, the first-time head coach, which is not what I wanted to begin with.
I'd rather him, though, if we got to pick out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you, TD. Like,
I would rather have McDaniel over Daboll any day of the week.
Just something
But it seems as though Daboll would be the
works.
one. But it seems as though Daboll be the only one to bring in a competent staff.
But
So
why do
far,
we
I don't know
assume
what.
that?
Why do you?
I don't know
think
what
that,
McDaniel's going to
Why do
bring.
you think that, D1?
we just don't know otherwise.
He's been longer. He's been in the league longer. He's connected to more people.
So
I could be wrong, but
let me help you a little bit with this. So one of the things that has been McDaniel's positive in the positive column for McDaniel is he's been doing these coaching seminars.
yeah,
Right? He's been running these coaching clinics. And if you've seen some of these pictures of these coaching clinics, we're talking some of the hottest coordinators in the league and head coaches in the league.
exactly.
So I think I would like to think that if McDaniel gets the head coaching gig, that he could put together a positive coaching staff. Better than Daboll.
All I'm saying is the only attractive piece to come with Daboll for me is Ken Dorsey. And Ken Dorsey would have a choice of whether he want to go with Daboll or if he want to go with the general manager up in New York. And all I'm saying is Ken Dorsey, if you look at Josh Allen, he's going to choose a quarterback that has at least immense physical traits, whether you like his passing of the ball or not, because nobody really liked Josh Allen's passing of the ball, but they knew he had a cannon, just in arm strength, just like Daniel Jones, and they knew he was a mobile quarterback, just like Daniel Jones. They both are the bad passers of the ball. So all I can say is, which one do you think Ken Dorsey would rather work with?
Cameron? I'm texting somebody right now. Go ahead.
I just don't see why Dorsey would leave Buffalo if Daboll leaves.
He might be the OC there too.
Exactly.
If he wanted to get out and make his resume second to none, because that's the difference maker. You go do it a second time, you bought yourself some real quarterback cachet for the rest of your career. But you do it one time, you end up like Adam Gase.
And TD, if I'm Dorsey and Daboll leaves, and I already know, and everyone in the building knows, according to all of us here, that he is the real reason that Josh Allen is where he's at, why wouldn't you want to take that OC position and prove it true?
Yeah, you can, but remember, if you're going to bet on yourself, there are some people out here that bet on themselves. They go
Every
for
day.
the jugular. I promise you, if he went to another place and did it again, he would be the lead candidate over anybody in any job that got a quarterback that they want to tap into. He will always be able to find a head coaching job for a team that's trying to work with their quarterback for the rest of his career. But if you
I find it funny that TD
Allen,
making it seem as though Daniel Jones is some type of mid-tier quarterback that needs help. No, that's not even the case.
That's not what I'm saying. I see in Daniel Jones, I see Josh Allen's early career. Go look at him.
You see what now with Daniel Jones?
The same as Josh Allen in the first 2 years. Do you not remember what that was?
I know what Josh Allen looked like the first 2 years, but Daniel Jones had a better first year than Josh Allen's first year.
Okay, there you have it.
Yeah, and it's been downhill ever since then.
And that's fine, but that's what I'm telling you now. What if the simple fact of Josh Allen is the fact that he had the physical traits. That's why they still believed. And if Dorsey feels that way, he's going to go with the same physical traits. If you're a good quarterback coach, most coaches that are great, they're arrogant. They feel like they can fix anyone.
I will say this. I will say this. Zach Taylor, who's coaching on Sunday, what was he? He was the quarterback's coach, right? For us? Was he not?
Who are you talking about?
Zach Taylor, the head coach of Cincinnati.
Okay.
There's your WD-40.
It's for my chair and TD's squeaky jaw.
What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to agree with you from the standpoint of if we're looking at you're making the point that a quarterback's coach can make that jump because of who or what he has done. Correct?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes, we're talking about Dorsey.
I understand that. And I'm trying to give you an example to support your theory. Zach Taylor is an example to support your theory.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, he was a quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Now he's in another place.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying, according to what I'm hearing from you, Dorsey is so good that he could make that jump, and that we should be more focused in on Dorsey than Daboll. Is that correct?
No. I'm not asking Dorsey to come be the head coach because he still has to prove that. What I'm saying to you is the only thing that would attract me with Daboll is if we could bring in Dorsey. But
that's been the report. We just don't know. That's been the report. We just don't know.
That's the point I'm making. We don't know because we also have to consider the fact that Dorsey would have options. But to just immediately dismiss the fact that he may not want to choose the Giants option over ours if he wanted to leave, I find that hard to believe. That would be, come on, man.
Who is choosing the Giants job, Daboll or Ken Dorsey? Who you trying to?
What I'm saying is, okay, I'm talking about Ken Dorsey.
Go ahead, TD.
Look, there's only two options for Ken Dorsey. Is whether you're going to stay in Buffalo or you're going to follow Brian Daboll. It really isn't that hard.
And I'm saying, why does Dorsey want to leave, Buffalo when he's?
Yeah, I find the only reason that happens, guys, is that there's a relationship between Daboll and Dorsey that we just don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
That they're tight. That's it. That's the only reason.
Who do we know? Maybe Dorsey was the reason why maybe Daboll was the reason why Ken Dorsey came to Buffalo.
Yeah, we don't know that.
We don't know anything. Exactly. AB kid Larry.
Krista Locker says Dolphins are waiting for the team to make their first nude. Jose Valdez says
the Giants.
Jose says donating to thank Cameron for getting WD-40. My ears, thank you very much. rock a little bit.
Oh, I actually, it didn't work, man.
Look, it did.
I had to go get my daughter's chair.
I love it. All right, TD. What was the point? What are you saying? Finish your point.
All I was saying was to make the assumption that, like Dorsey, like you all said, Dorsey can stay in Buffalo and keep living off of that. And what he'll have on his resume is Josh Allen. He also, was it Cam Newton who he worked with? I forgot who it was. He has a few people on his resume, but it's a shame that he still hasn't been elevated as an OC yet. He's about to get his first opportunity.
He's going to get it.
He's going to get his first opportunity to be an OC, and that could be with Buffalo, possibly. But it's about who you know, right? And who attracted Dorsey to Buffalo in the first place?
Hey, I'll throw something out for you,
That's
TD.
what people need to understand.
That's what I just said. That's what I
what's
just
your answer,
said.
TD? What do you think?
From my understanding, it was a part of the connections with the general manager, and now he is in New York.
No. Then that would be the assistant general manager, because the general manager.
That's who I'm talking about.
Joe Shen.
I was about to say Brandon Bean is their GM in the Bills, and he's from the Dolphins.
I'm talking about the new general manager in New York.
He was the assistant. He was the assistant GM.
Yes, I'm calling him general manager because he is now in New York.
Okay. Got it. I just wanted to make sure I followed you.
That's why I'm like, why do we automatically think Daboll can bring him when Daboll didn't bring him to Buffalo?
So you're stating that even if Daboll comes to Miami, that Daboll could still go be the OC in New York and not choose Buffalo or Daboll.
Wait, hold on. You said Daboll can go
Dorsey.
Yeah. Dorsey could still choose. Yeah, that's
Dorsey,
what I meant.
I'm gonna be honest. Dorsey might have three options in the situation.
He might have a fourth, and I'll tell you that.
Where's the three?
Where's
Buffalo,
the fourth?
New York, and Miami.
And I'll throw out a fourth that nobody's talking about. If Byron Leftwich gets the
why would he go to New York without Daboll?
If Byron Leftwich gets
because the general manager there now.
TD. If Byron Leftwich goes to Jacksonville, which all reports say he is, there's going to be a offensive coordinator job position available in Tampa. And all I'm saying is Ken Dorsey's a native of Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, all these connections.
Right.
For the life of me, let me ask y'all a question. If Chris
hold on, can I ask you something, TD? According to your theory, you're saying the odds are more likely that no matter what the outcome of Daboll is, it's more likely that Ken Dorsey doesn't stay in Buffalo as the OC.
Never said that.
Okay, all right. I was asking you to clarify.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the man has options. So why would we think that Daboll would automatically be able to bring him?
Because I personally think out of all the options, it makes more professional sense from a professional standpoint to stay in Buffalo and be the OC in Buffalo.
But the New York being the New York Giants in any type of capacity should be the last option. They're the worst of the three. They're the worst of the three.
Oh, okay, that's your opinion.
And that's fair.
The Giants have a better team than us?
No, it's not about that. It's really going to be solely about what you can do with the quarterback. That's what you bring Dorsey in
Okay,
for.
so let's look at all the quarterback options. Yes. Josh Allen. He's already Super Bowl ready. He's Super Bowl ready. He's Super Bowl ready.
What more can you do with Josh Allen when you already elevated him?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones has arm strength. Has freaking mobile ability.
So are you stating to me that Daniel Jones, the book is still out on him?
Bro, why are you capping for a quarterback in Daniel Jones?
Have arm strength.
What's arm strength if you can't read the damn field and deliver it accurately, bro? You're capping for a quarterback that has 10 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in 2020.
God, dog,
you're capping for a quarterback who just had a neck injury. You're capping for a quarterback that has a neck injury. That you don't even know he's going to be the same.
You think we
what are you talking about, bro?
It sounds like you're naming Tua.
No, when did Tua have 10 touchdowns and 11 interceptions? When did Tua have more interceptions than touchdowns?
Like you're naming Tua too.
No, it's not. How am I naming Tua?
Like
you're capping for a quarterback who hasn't thrown for over 11 touchdowns.
Has Daniel Jones been in a dink and dunk RPO?
Here, bro.
Has Daniel Jones
for a quarterback who got to have neck surgery?
RPO?
Why would King Dorsey go to somewhere where the quarterback needs neck surgery?
Why would he go somewhere where a guy had hip surgery? Why would he go somewhere where a guy had hip surgery?
What are you
hip
talking
surgery.
about? That's freaking 2 years removed. You're talking about a guy that got injured months ago with a neck injury. What are you talking about? Stop deflecting. You're bringing up a hip injury from almost 3 years ago. Like, stop it.
You can have your opinion on. You can have your opinion
It's
on.
not
You
opinion.
want. That's fair.
My opinion is more based in
I'm
fact.
not knocking.
Why would somebody go
what I'm
somewhere
saying
and
to
the
you
man
is,
needs
I'm not
neck
knocking
surgery?
your opinion. I'm not knocking your opinion. What I'm saying to you is, he's going off the physical freaking attributes. You sitting here telling me a quarterback who can't read the field and throw accurate. That sounds just like freaking Tua.
No, so Tua's not accurate now. All right, okay, I know who I'm talking to. No doubt.
All you have
there's
to go
nothing,
off of.
There's nothing redeemable about Tua in your eyes. There's
all
nothing.
you have to go off of for both quarterbacks is their ability to extend plays with their legs and their cannon. And one has it and the other
Daniel
doesn't.
Jones extended plays. Yes, he extended plays, and what did that do for him?
I think you're failing to realize Daniel Jones. Excuse me. Daniel Jones can end up being the bum of the earth as far as I care. What I am saying to you, with all of his trash and with all of Tua's trash, one of them has more.
Perfect timing.
See, God don't like ugly, TD. God don't like ugly.
Especially on Spread Friday.
Which one do you work with? If both of them got problems throwing the ball, one of them turned it over more than the other.
I'd rather go with the quarterback that's not about to have neck surgery.
Bro, you're going off of what you feel about the neck surgery when you literally got the organization still ready to ride.
They're even talking about if they get Brian Daboll or something, they want Mitch Trubisky to compete.
It doesn't matter who they
compete with Daniel.
Well, guess what? Even if it's freaking Mitchell freaking Trubisky, who got some ways to go himself, when you really think about it.
I'm going to settle this.
Then Mitchell Trubisky will work with Ken Dorsey.
Knock him out.
That's how you have a backup. You bring Mitchell Trubisky to Miami, is it going to be a competition?
No. He's there. You know, I made this point yesterday, TD. I wouldn't mind Mitchell Trubisky coming into Chicago or into Miami as to his backup because he runs a similar style offense, right? He's an RPO guy. Brissett wasn't.
But I'm tired of people comparing.
Guys, in the chat box, I put a question. Who would you rather have as quarterback? Daniels Jones. I guess I can't spell Daniel right. And Tua. Daniel or Tua? Put in the chat.
Steven, there's this confusion. What people don't understand is it is harder to run a pro style offense than an RPO. So when a quarterback is thrusted in a pro style offense, they look at 60% completion percentage, let's just say 65.
Okay.
And they look at 65% completion percentage in a pro style versus a 70 in an RPO as different. That's actually the same because the level of difficulty in the offense. These guys are out here running pro style offenses where they actually
want to look at that. I'm looking at the over 55 turnovers in the last 3 seasons. That's what I'm looking at.
And how many?
I'm looking at the 17 fumbles lost.
He has a fumbling issue. That's why I kept saying he has a fumbling issue.
He has a turnover issue.
Yes, he has a turnover issue. I get it with the worst O-line.
How'd this turn into
the worst O-line?
We
want to get the O-line now. We want to get the O-line talk now.
O-lines.
Okay, so is the Giants O-line better than the Dolphins?
No. See, this is where you're missing it. They both got bad O-lines, but I'm not making it the deciding factor. I'm not making it the deciding factor. What I'm
hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button.
What I'm telling you is Daniel Jones. Let's see, I'm agreeing with you. Daniel Jones is bad at reading defenses, and Daniel Jones misfires. But Tua Tagovailoa is bad at reading defenses, and Tua Tagovailoa misfires. Now the difference is,
so the next question.
Let me finish.
So who has the better offense?
Let's have a conversation. Let me finish. Let's have a conversation. They both have those issues, right? But one of them has the physical traits that the other doesn't. That's all I'm saying. So for a quarterback's coach, where the flaws are the same, Tell me why he would want to come work with Tua over Daniel Jones outside of concerned about his neck.
Because Tua is a better thrower of the football than Daniel Jones?
You're a lie. Daniel Jones
How
has to
am I
throw the ball
lying?
down the field. Daniel Jones has to throw the ball down the field more often.
Oh my God!
You talking about Tua?
So tell me how many times Daniel Jones went down the field this year? And they got him weaponry. They had Sterling Shepard. They drafted Kadarius Toney. They got Kenny Galladay. They had Shaquem Saquon Barkley. They have a Pro Bowl. They got a Pro Bowl tight end in Evan Ingram. So what are you talking about?
Hold on. Am I missing something? Didn't I just acknowledge that they both can't read defenses and misfire?
But yet, so acknowledge the fact that Giants has better skill position players around them.
That doesn't matter because Tua got
How doesn't it matter?
You're not listening.
Oh my God, this dude is a fucking idiot.
Hey,
this dude is a fucking idiot, bro.
This is what it comes to.
I swear to God,
bro.
When you can't make your argument, you go to insults.
D1.
When you can't make,
come on, bro.
You talking about better weapons. Tua has good freaking weapons. What does the weapons have to do? Hold on. What does the weapons have to do with misfiring?
D1.
The Giants' weapons get open. The Giants' weapons get open.
Bro, ain't no come on, go. He's a fucking idiot with his takes. He's a troller. He said it. He said he's a troller.
Bro, your mother should have raised you better then.
Oh my God, both of you.
My mother would have told me to slap the shit out your dumb ass.
You know what?
My mother would have told me to slap the shit out your dumb ass. That's what would have happened. That's what would have happened.
My comment to you is fair. Because the way you're behaving is disrespectful, and anybody who was raised right would not like that. At least my comment was fair.
D1, you were wrong. D1,
the way you spew toxicity.
At least my comment was fair.
Hold on, D1, you were straight wrong, bro. And you know, come on, bro, don't do that.
I'm wrong for calling him a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I meant to say
D1, come on,
he's an imbecile. My fault.
Regardless, anytime you want to go to insults that's disrespectful, that's a reflection of your upbringing.
I'm saying your take is idiotic.
It's a reflection of your upbringing. It's okay. I understand. I can't blame you for how you were raised.
Whatever you want to say, bro. Whatever can make you cope for the idiocy that's coming out your mouth.
I can't blame you for how you were raised.
Whatever you want to do to cope.
And that's what I'm coping with, how you were raised. I can't blame you. I've learned not to blame ignorant people for how they were raised.
And I understand that I need to go off on people that have stupid.
Hey, it's however you were raised. I get it.
Like
however you were raised.
All right.
Is this Wednesday, Steven?
Bro, I thought it was, bro.
Or is it Friday?
Like two things. Number one, let's get something straight. I have no problem with people going at it. I'm good with that. Just don't cuss on the morning show because they're kids that listen. Come on now. Number two, okay. There's no need for personal insults. None of that. There's no debate with personal insults because it never goes anywhere.
And I'm just trying to debate. And when the heat
with idiotic takes,
D1 before you say
debating with idiotic takes.
I could have took idiotic take. That's not disrespectful. It's just your opinion. You think that it's idiotic. But when you start saying the things that you said, it's disrespectful. Anybody who got to use disrespect in an argument is just
D1, you're straight
of who you are.
D1.
Oh
D1,
my God,
answer me. D1, answer me, bro. Answer me this. Tell me you were wrong. You know you were wrong. I don't care if you feel that way about. I don't care that it's TD. Come on, dude. None of that.
Bro.
Like at minimum, like you don't need to.
Steven. If this was anybody else, sure, whatever, I'm wrong. But the idiotic shit this man has been saying for over a year, no, I'm not gonna take. This man is really trying to sell Daniel Jones is better than Tua.
But that's his take.
It's a stupid take.
First of all,
it's a stupid take.
Steven, I didn't even say that Daniel Jones was better than Tua. All I said, because
so what you say then? You say he's better, he's stronger, he's faster, stronger arm, right?
Can I say something? Will you allow me to just say what I say, whether it's idiotic or not? Just allow me to. Let's be respectful to each other. I don't have no problem with you. Even with what you said, I have no issues with you.
Good. I got no issue with you either. I just think you take the stupid.
Let's have a conversation. Let's let each other say what we got to say. All I'm saying to you is, Daniel Jones has his flaws. Tua has his flaws. I said out of my own mouth, which you failed to listen to, Daniel Jones can end up being the biggest bum of all time. But there are two traits that is appealing, which is his ability to be mobile and run the ball, like Josh Allen when he was also trash. Because like you said, Daniel Jones actually had a better rookie season than Josh Allen. And his cannon. Now, when I look at Tua Tagovailoa, on the other hand, he has his issues, but he doesn't have those physical traits. It doesn't mean that.
Can I ask you a question, T? How many games have you watched with Daniel Jones?
I'm almost done, bro. I'm almost done. It doesn't mean that Tua is not going to end up better than Daniel Jones. I am just saying at this point right now, and I do believe Tua is a better quarterback. But with Daniel Jones, you have traits that you can make up with for his lack of. He has the ability, since he can throw that 15-yard out route, he might be able to take off with his legs. This is the Josh Allen situation. Because if we were talking about Josh Allen's rookie year versus Tua's rookie year, you would be making the same argument for Tua over Josh Allen. And that's the fairest point I can make. If we were talking about just Josh Allen in his rookie year, and we were talking about Tua's rookie year, you would be making the same.
They already got the stats up for the first 20 games for both Josh Allen and Tua, and they damn near identical.
That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying to you is some quarterback coaches say, yeah, he's inaccurate, but that's what I fix. Yeah, he can't read defenses, but that's what I fix. So if I fix those two things with Tua, that's all I have. If I fix those two things with Daniel Jones, then I also have a mobile quarterback with a cannon. That's all I'm saying. That's an option for him. It doesn't mean Dorsey would pick it. All I put out there is that it's an option that he could pick. And you got mad that it was just an option. You want me to
your
say
options,
would not
but here's the thing. You're trying to insinuate that because Daniel Jones has more so-called intangibles, Ken Dorsey or Brian Daboll will pick him to go coach than over Tua.
They will. I said that they would.
You're saying there's a higher chance that they would do that. Why not, in your opinion, of what you think Ken Dorsey and Brian Daboll would think?
So guess what? I feel it's a higher chance, and you can say I don't feel it's a higher chance, and then we have a disagreement. But you're the one taking it to a whole other level, getting mad about it.
No. Have you watched Daniel Jones play?
You got mad at my.
Have you watched Daniel Jones play?
Yes, and I am.
How many times did you watch Daniel Jones games this year or years past?
Probably about 5 of them.
So you watched 5 games this season.
This year, yes.
So you watched 5 games this season.
Yes.
So you based off your opinion off of 5 games of what Daniel Jones could do if Ken Dorsey or whoever wants to go there?
I based my opinion off of the 5 games I watched this year, the 5 games I watched last year, and the 10 games I watched the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really pay much attention to him his rookie year.
Right. For somebody who I watch a lot of Giants games because I'm in Giants country. My best friend of 20 years is a Giants fan, and we discussed this. No. If Kim Dorsey or Brian Daboll, by your example or by your opinion, then it will be a lesser chance of them to choose Daniel Jones over Tua.
Is there a chance?
Bruh, there is a chance. I said lesser chance.
Okay.
You're making it seem like that's the majority of the chance.
And guess what? I feel that it's a more of a chance. You feel that there's less. TD, I disagree with that. I feel it's less. In the discussion, you got your pennies in a bunch because I
ain't getting no pennies, bro. I still think you have idiotic taste. I ain't gonna change.
Okay.
What the hell do you think that ain't gonna change?
But D1, let me get involved. Let me get involved for a second.
We disagree. That's
Hold
fine.
on.
But you got out of character.
You got out of character, bro. D1, you got straight out of character.
Bro, I stayed in character.
No,
I stayed in character.
Well, if that's your character, that's why I said what I said.
D1.
That's the point.
D1, you're wrong.
There is no
wrong. You loud and wrong, D1.
This man is a troll. Like he's admitted to it.
Oh my God.
Is this man not a troll? Has he not admitted to that?
But let me ask you. Can I ask you a question, D1? When you disagree with somebody, do you have to call it like
no, I call trolls idiots, and he's a troll.
But
And
even
I'm fine with that.
TD just said that he has no problem. You
I
didn't just
don't
say
have
that.
no problem with idiots.
You didn't even just say
I
that.
don't got
You
no problem
called-
with TD either. He just got idiot takes and he's a troll. I'm going by
And
what
guess
he
what?
said.
That would have been
He
fine,
said
but for some
he
reason,
said he trolls the Dolphin fan base.
but,
He said it out his mouth.
but for some, no, I told you I trolled the Dolphin to an ears. But for some
No,
reason,
you don't.
instead
No,
of
you
just
don't.
being an idiot, I got so deep in that heart of yours where it had to
You
add
really
a few
didn't.
things.
I mean, I've always called you an idiot. You just
Then
didn't know.
why don't you explain the extra on top of it then?
All I did was say fucking idiot. That's the extra? That's an
No,
adjective.
you said what did he say? What did he say?
That's an adjective. I said fucking idiot.
No. At the end of the day, you knew at the end of the day, well, everybody else at least knows, you went to a whole nother level that was unnecessary.
I didn't go a whole nother level,
Yes,
bro.
you did.
Bro, y'all really think that's bro? Then y'all don't know me. That ain't no level at all.
Well, that's fine. That's why I said what I said. If that's you,
And
that's you.
that's cool.
I ain't got
And
no
that's why I
problem with
said
that.
what I said. You're a fucking
I'm
troll
cool with that.
idiotic takes.
I'm cool with that. We had
That's it.
a little exchange, and we determined who each other were, and we all good with that. We good. I ain't got no problem with you.
I know
We
who
move
you
on.
are and what you do and what you try to do.
We move on from that. We
move on. Troll.
got it.
Okay.
All right.
As long as you admit to it, you're a troll. Got it. As long as you admitted to it.
I like that y'all can both laugh after this because other people would have hung up and said,
Well,
forget this. I'm never coming back on Stephen D's channel ever again.
At the end of the day, it ain't that serious, man.
It ain't that exactly. It ain't that serious.
All right. Well,
people in
can y'all at least say what the number one morning show is for the fans, for the people?
Stephen D. Number one morning show. Miami Sports Music.
I like
flip-floppers.
Flip-floppers.
Flip-floppers, cop blockers, clock block or whatever.
Got him.
See, I didn't even mean to say it like that. It just slipped up with that. I swear to God, I didn't mean to say it.
Got him. All right. Now that we got that. Whoa, I've never seen First of all, Cameron, you got mad a little bit ago with TD, and I ain't never seen you get mad.
No, I'm not mad. I just get frustrated because I'm trying to prove a bigger picture point. But it's okay. Like TD said, we have our differences in opinions, and that's fine. That's why we're on the show to debate.
Yo, what I want to ask, you know what? Let me ask another question with the hopes of not getting into another argument.
Idiot.
Imbecile.
If the Dolphins,
ultramaroon.
What?
Oh, you know, idiot.
Me neither, yo.
I'd rather get offended by something I don't know. I'm offended.
All right, yo, I'm crying laughing because now it's funny. All right. If Daboll ends up being the guy that is picked, what is your very next thought when you hear that? Like, what is the Dolphins choose Daboll as our next head coach?
Ken Dorsey at all costs.
Ken Dorsey at all costs.
At all costs. You got to throw the checkbook at him too.
D1. Got yourself on me.
You gotta have if Brian Daboll's coming, you gotta have Ken Dorsey. That's like first and foremost.
So I want them to,
if they announce
Brian says, see you in 3 years. Like, I think we're going to be in this within 3 years all over again.
Hey, Stephen, I also say this, my 1B would be maintaining the defensive integrity on that side of the ball. The same, is he going to bring in a coach, a new DC? We mentioned Wink Martindale, what I got to research what type of defense he runs, but the strength of this team is a defense. And so I'm skeptical of maintaining the integrity of that defense with a new coach, whoever it is.
TD D1, any thoughts on that?
I agree with the Wink Martindale. I would love he runs an aggressive style of defense.
Why did he get fired from Baltimore though? Like, if he's that, because let's get something straight. I put a lot of stock into John Harbaugh and what decisions he makes. So if Baltimore got rid of him, there has to be something that just didn't work out right there. In the Baltimore.
How long he's been with Baltimore?
Well, my biggest concern of it all is the DC, because you already put handcuffs on him. He can't even bring his staff.
Well, that's stating that we're keeping Boyer, and we don't know that.
Do y'all want to keep Boyer?
I don't. He got his play calling ability taken from him halfway through the year. There's a reason
and Flores
for that.
called it better. And Flores
He
called
did.
the defense better.
100%. I don't want Boyer. I think they should bring in a whole new coaching staff, top to bottom.
On the defense?
Offense and defense.
Oh, man, that's see, we're talking about changing everything up, and I'm cool with that, but the problem is, man, y'all got to understand the adjustment period, the period to jail.
But TD, isn't there something to be said of a guy who got his play calling abilities taken from him halfway through the year? There's something to be said of that.
I'm not talking about that, but here's the issue. That defense is mature and skilled enough to pick up where they left off. All they need is it called correctly. The problem is, if you bring in an entirely different staff, you bring in another defensive philosophy.
Yeah, and we can't, we have the personnel running a defensive philosophy that's working right now, that's excelling, that's the strength of this team.
Well, let me ask you, it worked in the last 8 weeks of the year. Did it work in the first 7 weeks? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Dude, it didn't work too much in that Tennessee game.
They didn't run the same defense in the first 7 weeks.
Why is that? Because Boyer was calling the plays. So why would you want to keep that?
My point is, you bring in a new defensive philosophy. So you have players working in the philosophy they have now, like Agba and Baker and X and Jones, and you got Phillips that you drafted to play a certain type of defensive philosophy, right? Like you saw it happen when Cam Wake was, a monster at the 4-3 on the defensive end. They tried to move him outside linebacker, and his career went to shit, right? Because they changed the defensive philosophy.
I thought it was the other way around. He was 3-4, then 4-3.
Whatever the case was. I think they moved him outside. Anyway, I agree with TD. You can't change your defensive philosophy. I even if it's a change of coordinator, as long as you have a coordinator that runs the same philosophy, maybe he communicates better with the guys in the room. Who knows?
So what let me ask you a question, TD. We're down to these finalists, right? You're on mute. We're down to these finalists. What is being asked in a second round of interviews that isn't asked in the first round of interviews, TD? I'm interested to know what you think is asked in the interview process.
Well, hey, Steven, try to keep it going. Give me about 5 minutes because I'm picking up some fish in PetSmart, and I can hardly hear you for my picking up some fish for my kids.
You don't cook them fish for your kids? What the hell are you doing, TD?
No, we got some fish for his fish tank for the first time yesterday, and one died last night, and we're trying to replace it before.
Oh, don't let Peter hear that, boy. You're gonna get me in trouble, TD. All right, I'll put you on mute for a minute. I'll wait 5 minutes. I'll put you on mute. He's trying to replace Nemo. All right, real quick, D1, what do you think needs to be asked in the second round of interviews that isn't asked on the first round of interview?
I have no clue. I don't know what goes on in the first round of interviews.
I think that's something that needs to be discussed. I want to bring in somebody that knows the interview process.
What do you discuss in the first that you didn't discuss in the first that you would in the second? I would think the second interview was you actually laying down your plan for the team. What's your vision or whatever like that. The second time around, of course. I just think, the first interview is just like any other job interview. We're getting you in the building. They like how you are. They want to see how your head is, or whatever like that. And then that second one is more in depth.
Cam, what do you think?
I mean, we're not in the room, so it's we can sit up here and speculate.
But what should be the questions that should?
Well, the more I think the important is to understand who actually makes it through the second round. So the first two, to D1's point, is just like any other job interview, right? So I think we can look back at the last round of interviews when Flores was hired, and it was pretty well documented that Flores came in with already a whole 5-year plan, a philosophy, game plans for both offensive and defenses. He had a coaching staff identified. And I think that's kind of what the first round is, like how prepared are you to become the next head coach, and how confident as an owner, as a GM in your plan am I? And then the second round of interviews, I'm assuming, will be taking it to the next step. Okay, we agree or disagree on, the length of the contract, 4 or 5 years. What do you want from us? What do I want from you? And then they go back to his agent and negotiate, the contract details, because his agent is in the room as well. I think it's more nuts and bolts of the contract in the second round, as discovering what the philosophy of that coach and the vision of that coach is in round one. And that's my best guess.
I asked that question for a particular reason because, if we're sitting here talking about who the next head coach is going to be and Grier and Ross are making these decisions, we also have to realize what is the angle Ross and Grier are looking for, because I don't think that's talked about enough. I mean, we don't know. We're not inside their heads. We obviously, I would say a majority of the YouTube family that covers the Dolphins, that highlights the Dolphins, and a majority of the fans in the fan group, I would say, don't like these finalists. I don't think that they do. I don't think that this is a great group of guys. So my answer to that is, well, Ross and Grier have to have an angle that they're playing with this thing. Now, what that angle is, I have no clue, because to our points a little bit ago, I don't think Boyer can stay on. I don't think Boyer's that good, right? And he got his play calling abilities taken from the rest of them. And to TD's point, if you bring in a brand new coaching staff from top to bottom, you're instituting something brand new.
Well, as a head coach, you want your vision and your culture, to be throughout the locker room, both offensive, defensive, and special teams, right? Like, so why wouldn't you want that kind of control? Like, that was given to Flores. He brought in all these guys.
Yeah, so this is my thought of Flores. You let go of Flores because of his inability to bring in other coaches, right? Like being able to bring in somebody on the offensive side of the ball, smarter coaches than him, right? He obviously wasn't good at developing talent from a coaching standpoint because he had to take away Boyer's ability to call plays. He couldn't bring in an offensive coach.
And the knock on Flores is that he was a control freak, right? Like he wasn't, he brought in rookie or first, second year coordinators, assistant coaches because he wanted total control. Like that's the Belichick way, right?
100%. That's why McDaniel.
Y'all really believe that?
That what?
Y'all really think that's the case?
What?
I think that's
he
one
brought
of
in
the
like beta male coaches so they won't challenge his authority.
Oh, 100%.
D1, and I spoke of this earlier in the week and last week, like it's a different player, right? Like for better, for worse, whatever our opinions is, it's a different culture. It's a different type of player. It's a different, the guys coming up through high school and college, they're built different, for better, for worse than we were at my age or you were at your age. And I think you need a head coach that's, I think, more relatable to the type of player that grew up in this culture today. And I think that's why Mike McDaniel and Kellen Moore are viable candidates. First and foremost.
You don't think that, D1? Like that thought never crossed your mind that he was an alpha male and didn't want anybody.
I've heard of that. I've heard people use that, and say that about Flores.
But data points to it. The data points to it. And what's the data? Look at the coaches. He had 3 offensive coordinators, or 4, right? 4 offensive coordinators in 3 years. He could not turn over the play calling to anybody. Like he didn't have faith in them to do it, nor were they executing it in a way that worked. Do you remember after that 7th loss? Let me tell you what the press conference was after that 7th loss, after the 6th loss, after the 5th loss. These are the questions to the press conference in Flores. This is the questions to him. Flores, do you need to do anything different to make a change? And I'm this is him in the press conference. We don't need to do anything different than what we're doing now. We just need to execute it better. The moment he took over play calling abilities, it changed. And that defense is the biggest reason that we won, and that 8 games.
Definitely that Baltimore game, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I think I see there's negatives on both sides. If we bring in a brand new coaching staff and we stop from top to finish, that coaching staff's going to want to say, hey, I want to institute my own plays, which is one of the reasons that I don't think McDaniel will end up being here, by the way. Personally.
Why is that?
Because he's going to want to do that. And my thought is the reason that we don't have a great group of coaches is because Stephen Ross and Greer are handcuffing these coaching candidates. We are.
Say that again.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sending the link to TD.
Say that again.
I think that one of the reasons that we don't have a great group of coaching candidates is that during the interview process, Greer and Ross are stating, this is what you can do. This is what you will not be allowed to do. They are handcuffing these coaching candidates. I think that's a theory that needs to be talked about.
Well, how is that different from any other job interview? Like you
just said it yourself. Flores was allowed to bring in whoever he wanted. He was able to do whatever he wanted.
And maybe that's different this time around. Maybe they feel confident in Boyer. Maybe they feel confident in the defensive side of the ball. Maybe they're hiring a head coach to guide the offense. I mean, that's why you see only offensive coordinator type, candidates here, offensive minded head coaching candidates, is because they want to focus on, they've put their chips in on Tua unless something stupid shakes out of the tree, right?
Yeah, 100%. TD and D1, I put the link back in there for TD and D1.
And so they're pushing their chips on Tua. They're want to build around him. They're going to invest in, hopefully free agent spending on the offensive side of the ball. And you want an offensive head coach. So maybe the parameters of the job interview are just that. Hey, listen, your focus is on offense. This is the defense you have to work with. This is who you got to work with.
You're making my theory work for me, Cameron. They are handcuffing they're going to say to the head coach.
Why is that a handcuff? Why is that? Listen.
Because if I'm a coach, I want to bring in my own people.
I agree with that. But it's in the parameters of the job interview.
So by that thought, you are wiping away certain coaching candidates who are going to be like, bruh, I'm not coming here if you're going to do that.
Well,
why would I?
That may be the reality.
I'm telling you it's the reality. There's no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt. Right? Do I know? No. Do I know 100% certain? No. I don't have inside sources. I don't know any of that. But I can tell you based on the finalists that we have, that is a good working theory.
I agree.
I think this coaching cycle is lackluster. To how I thought it was going to be this coaching cycle.
Wrong. I disagree.
You don't think so?
Doug Peterson, great coaching candidate. Jim Caldwell, great coaching candidate. John Harbaugh, great coaching candidate.
But Peterson is not going for jobs because he's still getting paid $4 million from the Eagles. If he takes a job, he's not getting that money.
So I would go to him and say, I will add $5 million to whatever you were gonna, whatever the thing is. I'll give you a $5 million signing bonus.
I honestly think next year's coaching cycle will be better.
Some guys have integrity, Steve. Money is not everything to them.
Well, then Peterson. Then that shouldn't be the case for Peterson.
Has Peterson even been interviewed for anybody? No. I hear his name, but I don't see that he got interviewed.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard his name a lot. I can tell you that.
Hey, TD, you pick up cornmeal for that fish?
What happened?
You pick up some cornmeal for that fish?
No, he already got food at the house. No, and people
don't overfeed him this time, TD. That's what happened the first time.
You might be right because my wife said, "Oh, I fed him again." I said, "Why? Do you understand fish twice a day?"
Once or twice a day, depending on the fish.
Yeah, but I'm an aquarium guy. I'm a saltwater type guy. So, I have an addiction. I have an addiction to that stuff. I had a 135 gallon in college.
So, wow, my best friend. Hey, yo. 200 people are watching the show live. I've never hit 200 before live. Let's go.
Because they wanted to see with that pink hat on.
Now, see what happened when you call people idiots?
You see? Exactly. You're welcome, Stephen D. You're welcome.
I like it. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's go.
Hey, man, I need my cut for being a victim.
Hey, man. you better fill out paperwork and send it in to the proper authorities. It's about a 3 to 6 month waiting period.
Nah, I forgot the question you were asking me, bro, when I was getting
My question to you is during the interview process, because I feel like you would at least know a little bit more about that than maybe the three of us. If you're looking at the interview process, what's being discussed in the second round of interviews that's not discussed in the first round of interviews?
All right. So, well, before I even answer that, there is a belief that they're just stalling.
For the Dolphins? For McDaniel?
Not necessarily for McDaniels. Harbaugh. And that Harbaugh is just trying to leave the team in a good position by finishing the recruiting. And then
how do you go into a kid's house, recruit him for you not to be there anyway?
Ask Chip Kelly.
You're right, but at the same token, you still doing your job. It was amazing that Harbaugh let go of his coordinator and
Schefter's tweet yesterday, Jose. Say that again,
yeah, it was amazing that Harbaugh let his coordinator to his brother in Baltimore yesterday as the DC.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what, he going to be looking for another DC? Some people believe that he's maybe finding his way up out of there and just doing right by Michigan before he leaves. But that's just a narrative, okay? So we'll see how that goes. But a second round of interviews, it only means one thing. It means that you were after something in the first round. Remember that Miami interviewed 3 people. Remember, there were 10 open coaching jobs in the NFL. Okay. Miami interviewed 3 people that nobody else interviewed. Do you not see anything wrong with that?
Oh, I see a lot wrong with that.
But like I've been telling y'all a few weeks ago, Miami is on an information hunt as well. They want as many brilliant minds as they can to give their opinion of the quarterback. So they went through those first rounds, did all the interviews. It was centered around Tua Tagovailoa. I'm pretty confident. And at the end of the day, they talked about the 3 candidates that they will re-interview, and then we got to talk about the candidates that nobody knows about, because that's a factor as well. You think them the only 3? I mean, there's other guys that we just don't know of because some of them are already on a relationship standpoint. I know we may not get Jim Caldwell, but if we were trying to get Jim Caldwell, we wouldn't hear about it because he was already. Did we hear about him when he first came in the office the first time?
So are you stating that one day we're out of the blue, we're going to get a message on Twitter saying breaking news, the Dolphins have hired Jim Harbaugh out of the blue? Is that what you're saying could happen?
And that would be so Dolphins. That would be like.
I'm not saying you'll get it, but I am saying that you might hear within the next week out of the blue. Sources tell me that Miami Dolphins have had conversations with this person or that person. Doesn't mean that they're going to hire them, but they've at least had conversations of bigger names. Just the conversation. But
listen, and Ross's track history, like his history of his hires, this organization's hiring history is exactly what TD is saying. Like, we don't know who they've brought into that building. We don't know where Ross is flown his plane. You know, there's Greer across this country too. Like, they're doing their due diligence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing happened with Reggie McKenzie. All of a sudden, he was hired to the staff. Man, do you think something like that wouldn't be big news? Like, that was big news.
Well, let me ask you, we all wanted, I think for the most part, there was a consensus that we all wanted a head coach by the time Mobile, Alabama came for the Senior Bowl.
How tight they're playing this.
I don't think
is Reggie McKenzie still with us in any capacity, or another team hired him?
Yes, he is. And
yes,
that
he
is the name right there that I feel like was the man who really made the decisions on this year's draft.
You think Reggie McKenzie did?
I think hopefully we talk about the same guy, right?
Yeah. The old Raiders guy.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that was the one who put his mouth in Chris Greer's ear and said, go get Javon Holland and Jalen Phillips.
I totally agree with you.
I have no belief that Greer nailed that draft like he did.
You don't think Javon Holland was a Flores Greer pick? Like they worked together on that?
No, but Reggie McKenzie was brought in here. Reggie McKenzie was brought in here to steer that coaching staff because Flores was a first timer, because Greer needed the help. Like Reggie McKenzie is pulling the strings. Like you see Dan Marino as a figurehead, as a consultant to this organization. All he is a face piece, right?
He's a face head, but he's just a face. I don't consider Marino.
Yeah, Reggie, but that's my point. Reggie McKenzie is the guy who's steering this ship.
McKenzie know how to bring talent.
Did he? I knew he had interviews for a GM job, so he's still with us then. Like nobody's hired.
Yeah, he's still in the organization. But
plus, it would be major compensation for a team to hire him away from the Dolphins. Like three
we get 3 third rounds or 2 third round picks or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are y'all talking about?
The compensation
if you hire a minority from
coach.
someone's
if you hire a minority coach from somebody's staff, that team gets
I don't know if you could double down on that because it's also the combination of a coach and general manager.
Well, I don't know what's that. I just I saw weeks ago, like if Reggie McKenzie goes, we get like 2 third round picks.
If he goes,
if he goes to another team hires
Minnesota, not Minnesota. Who was?
It was Chicago.
It was Chicago looking at him. He
came from Chicago already hired the guy. So
they Chicago hired the guy.
Let me understand something. If a guy leaves just because he works in an organization, we benefit.
Yes,
on the coaching staff. You got to be on the coaching staff.
It's got to be
like
Sean Payton. If Sean Payton gets hired away because he's still under contract for the next 3 years, it's 3 third round picks.
But is he on the coaching staff or is he in the front office technically?
It's the same.
It's the same. Coaching or front office, that team will get picks.
So do you think that's why? Well, don't we still have the rights of Caldwell technically?
I don't know.
We don't. Caldwell left.
Yeah,
there's no rights there.
Okay, regardless of if you quit, did we pay him?
Yes, he was bought out of his contract, TD.
He was bought out. He's not on the current. It has to be somebody on the current staff.
So could it be something said that's why we loaded that front office area with all of these high names?
With minorities? Really?
I don't think that's the case.
That's jacked up if we did, but I can't see no other reason. Why? Because you ain't put Caldwell where he's supposed to be. You ain't got McKenzie where he need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So in your mind, Caldwell should be the head coach, which I agree with, and McKenzie should be the GM.
Yeah.
TD. Yeah.
Man, who McKenzie is, this man got the cash yet, bro.
Dude, that would bring credibility to this organization it hasn't seen since Shula.
So can somebody answer me why he's not the GM?
That's what I'm asking. Why are we not speculating? Like, what happened?
Why is McKenzie? Why isn't Ross? I know this is a stupid question, probably, but why isn't Ross smart enough to see? Well, McKenzie should be the guy and not Greer.
Well, Greer is on the hot seat. I'm telling you, if this year is a non-playoff year, Greer is fired.
I can see that happening. There was
on Greer.
I saw a report yesterday that if coaches don't want to come here because Greer may be a lame duck in next year or in year 2.
Think about that.
I'm telling you, this is a 1-year coaching gig for somebody. I almost believe that if it's not
think about
if it's not Peterson, Caldwell, like Daboll could be gone after a year. McDaniel could be gone after a year because they could just clean house. They could clean
house. Marvin is still here too, right?
Hey, Steven.
Marvin,
I got a bounce.
Marvin Allen.
Marvin Allen, yes.
Steven.
Yeah, what's up?
I got to bounce, man. I got 11 o'clock call. D1, TD, always good chopping it up with you. Clock Blockers fan. Have a great Friday. Spread kindness. And hit that like button. Got 198 viewers, man. All for that pink hat Steven's wearing.
No, that's not going to happen, bro.
Put that up for charity.
I love this thing, bro.
If Greer is fired, the problem is when you bring in a new GM, They want their own head coach.
Mm. I would think if you fire Grimm, we're going to hire from within, promote Marvin Allen or McKenzie probably. I don't know. I think Ross would do something like that.
Then Greer should not be responsible for the decision at coaching right now. They say he's a part of it.
I'm so sick of giving him the free pass. No, he doesn't get a free pass anymore. He doesn't get a free pass. If this does not work out, it is on Greer. Point blank.
Somebody says Saints interview with Flores. Is that true?
I haven't seen anything. I've been looking for it.
I know he had an interview with the Giants yesterday.
A second interview with them.
Oh, they want a second interview.
No, they had a second interview with him. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's what that was.
I honestly think Brian Flores is the Giants head coach. And that's only if Daboll don't choose them, I think.
So let me ask you something, TD.
That's even worse, though, bro. See, look. Even if Flores is a hater, right? Imagine if Dorsey has an option and he interviews with Flores and interviews with Greer.
Okay.
You know Flores gonna tell him all he needs to know of why he be screwing up going to Miami. Even if he was hating.
Greer, but TD, you don't think Greer is telling Joe Shonin, who Joe Shonin worked under for 10 years?
That's what I agree with that, D1.
You think he didn't call Greer and ask him what happened with Flores in Miami?
Yep, I think that happened.
But the difference is Flores will tell Dorsey, I believe in Daniel Jones, even if he lying. and if you can't fix Daniel Jones, you have my full blessing. We go get you the best quarterback we possibly can.
You think these GMs so what do you think the conversation is with Greer to people then about Tua?
Yeah, well, see, the problem is everybody knows what the league thinks about Tua, even if it's unfair and it ain't right. He has a negative perception regardless. And there's a lot of factors to that may not even be fair.
Joey says McKenzie's the one behind Watson. That's an interesting theory.
Might be right.
That's an interesting theory. That is a very interesting theory.
You might be right. That's one thing I tell you about McKenzie. He knows how to identify players in the NFL, and he knows the great players from the fake.
Adam Schefter reporting Saints plan to interview Brian Flores, who was yes. Okay.
So why don't we give credit for Greer to bring McKenzie over here? Because they were friends. They were always close.
Well, he get credit.
He brought him over here.
I've never had an issue with Greer bringing in people up there in higher positions. My issue, and I don't have an issue with Greer bringing in coaches, honestly, because I like the Flores
head coaches or positional coaches. Like what?
Either. I mean, well, I would say head coaches, but and again, assistant coach is usually a reflection of the head coach. Exactly. He has a lot more say in that, unless it's a well sought after commodity that they tell you we're bringing this guy in. So
yeah, but so there's just so many negatives with all these different scenarios. Like I don't understand, as if you own a sports team and you want that team to win. I feel like every time you've made a decision, you have handcuffed that franchise from success. And every decision Ross has made, every single one. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you're not wrong. I feel as though an organization, if you really want to change regimes, you fire everybody. GM, scouting department, head coach, everybody, a pure reset. But the Dolphins, we'll fire 2 of the 3. We'll keep 2 of the 3 and won't completely reset the regime. That's what I have a problem with. It's always we keep the GM, fire the coach. Keep the coach, fire the GM.
Yeah, I just, and even when we make decisions, like here's the thing I'll say, and TD is going to get back on. He just got into his house. He's going to get back on. The thing that I find very funny is when you're looking at it from the standpoint of, the team and the decisions that they make, they tend to make the decision that is, what's the word I want to use? Wrong, right? Just plain wrong. 100% wrong. And so I have to agree with TD. Like I think we're gonna hit the reset button in full effect next year. I don't see this being good for the Dolphins.
Well, then I'm not trying to think like that.
It's not that I want to think like that. You know me.
I know.
I'm
Whether
Mr.
people want to,
Positivity, but I'm just
whether people are two haters or two nears, whatever you want to call yourself, I feel as though this will be an exciting offseason. We'll be able to add more talent. Why? We got the most cap in NFL.
Yes,
we can
that's
add
true.
people.
100%.
We got a decent amount of draft capital in this draft class.
Sure we do. And next year.
Well, I'm just doing next. I'm just doing this year for right now.
I got you.
I mean, it's next season right now. So I feel as though there's a lot to be excited for. It's not like I give Flores this. Flores didn't leave this team in shambles, unlike other coaches that have. He didn't leave this team in shambles.
Yeah, but I think so. Let me state this for the record too. I think Flores is a good head coach. I just think he needs to learn from his mistakes. And part of that was my hope. This is why I think wherever Flores goes, he's going to be successful. Because I think he'll learn, hey, man, I need to bring it. If he hires a veteran coordinator, let's say he takes the Giants
learned
job.
in the last 2 weeks?
We'll know, because I'm going to tell you right now, if he takes the Giants job and one of his first moves at offense or defensive coordinator is getting a, a top-tier offense or defensive coordinator, then yes, 100%, and we're screwed. And we're 100%.
Bro, I don't know if people know this. There's always been a Giants Dolphins connection. Me and my boy been talking about this for 15 years. There's so many connections between just Giants and Dolphins, whether it's coaches, front office, or players, or the players that we drafted from, what college they came from, whatever like that. There's always been a connection. I wholeheartedly believe Brian Flores is getting that Giants job. If Daboll don't choose, Flores is getting that job.
I don't know. TD, are you there? Are you able to talk? I know TD's in the middle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, man?
I think people are frustrated with the fact that every offseason is an exciting offseason for us. Every offseason we got something going for us, whether it's a lot of draft picks.
Bro, every offseason is not exciting, bro.
We have a lot of them that are.
Tell me the last offseason that wasn't exciting.
2019, when we knew we were going to be losing and trading away everybody.
You mean when we purged everything?
Yeah,
we had all those draft picks.
That wasn't exciting, but that was.
It wasn't exciting until the next offseason when it started with all these draft picks.
No, 2019.
I can tell you another offseason that wasn't exciting.
Hold on,
2017.
The we drafted too. I thought.
2019 offseason, going into the 2019 season.
Oh, you mean whenever we sent Tannehill off and all
that? Yeah, when
right?
we started doing the great purge and everything. That wasn't a great offseason.
Yeah, but everybody at least was accepting the bill, the purge. They were like, all right,
I accept,
but it wasn't exciting though. Yeah, we accepted it. It wasn't exciting.
Okay, people weren't excited about Brian Flores, the new coach and all.
Yeah, that's the coach. I'm just talking about the team in general. We already knew what Flores is about to inherit. Yeah. We're about to purge the team. Another offseason that wasn't exciting. The 2017 season where we had to deal with Jay Cutler. That was not an exciting offseason at all. There was no excitement with that. There was only a little bit of excitement because Tannehill was coming back, but then he injured himself again.
Yeah, but so I feel like I know we're beating a dead horse on a certain extent with the coaching, but I feel like this is where the news cycle is for Dolphins fans. Like there's TD. I want you to elaborate more on the Dolphins stalling, because I never thought that they're just stalling. You think to tell me that they are stalling for why wouldn't they just say, hey, look, this is who we're interested in our final takes, and we have to wait till like making a statement till all the coaching candidates are either finished with the playoffs or the season has concluded?
How do they not know? How do they not know who they want right now?
I think they knew who they wanted the moment they let go of Flores. They had to have somebody in mind. They had to have somebody in mind that they thought that they could replace Flores with.
From reports I saw on Twitter, which you can never be verified or if it's true or not, that Ross is McDaniel's choice, but Greer is not a Greenwich.
Ross is McDaniel. Oh, okay. McDaniel is Ross's choice. I got you.
And my fault. Yeah.
And Greer's choice is who?
More Daboll.
Well, then we're screwed either way. Because, I mean, the fact that your GM and owner aren't even on the same page, come on,
It's even
bro.
worse than that, because why would you even be giving Kellen Moore a second interview if that was the case?
100%.
I mean, can they just do their due diligence? It's just due diligence.
Yeah, but why Kellen Moore?
If the debate is between two people, what is due diligence with a third?
Well, and that goes to your theory, TD, that they are giving everybody in the NFL.
They're giving everybody a chance to interview.
Well, and TD, that goes along to your theory of they're giving the fan base and the rest of the NFL the runaround because Harbaugh is an outside horse to take it. You know?
Yeah, I just don't feel like we have the competence to actually pull a Harbaugh situation off because of Chris Greer's words. Because if Harbaugh ends up in the NFL, Dolphin fans, you need to know that your owner failed you. If he ends up in the NFL anywhere, your owner failed you because your
and
owner
if he doesn't,
and if he doesn't,
well, then fine. He's got a great place in Michigan.
Yes, it makes sense. But if he ends up in the NFL, our owner failed us.
Jose Valdez actually says, Steven, why do you think it is their obligation to tell us who they want? I think that it's number one, I get your question. I actually like the question, Jose. I think it's the team's obligation to understand that the fan base is freaking frustrated, dude. Like, think of everything we've been through for the last 30 years. And every 3 or 4 years, we are in the same predicament over and over and over again without fail. So, yes, I want you to be more transparent with me. I don't trust you. You haven't made the right decision. You have made the wrong decisions on quarterbacks, over 20-plus quarterbacks in 20 years. You have made the wrong decision on head coaches for 20-plus years. Every 3 or 4 years, we get a new head coach.
And can I add on that, Steven?
Go ahead.
They owe us.
100%.
I mean,
think of all the money I put into this.
Ask anybody who is the best, who would be the best coach you could possibly bring in to this situation.
Right now?
Yes.
Harbaugh, I think.
Harbaugh, right?
Yep.
Do we have what it takes to get Harbaugh with the connections and resources?
What? Why do we need?
I mean,
Harbaugh is your number one.
Ross should be the guy.
No, Jim Caldwell is my number one, and Harbaugh is number two. But let's make the point of the best.
Yes,
that are options, right?
Yep. The finalists should say Doug Peterson, Jim Caldwell, and Jim Harbaugh. That's who the finalists should say.
Yeah. So my thing is this: let's just say, let's say Doug is gonna sit on his money until it runs out and he want to go get a job. Let's say that Caldwell want to go somewhere else. If Jim Harbaugh is the best option, and we know we could get him if we really tried, do you not owe your fan base the best that you can offer? Money ain't the issue. And they are making decisions and not giving us the best because of personal reasons. I will not be the one who takes Harbaugh away from Michigan. That's why we're frustrated.
Yes.
That's why when they say stop being negative about the organization, your organization is creating negativity because they're not even considering us.
We're so busy as a fan base arguing with each other and taking out our frustrations on each other that we don't even realize that we need to be taking our frustrations out on this team, on this franchise. And
you think the organization cares about us?
No, they don't. But
they don't care about us.
Zoe Vegas says Dolphins don't owe you nothing. You chose to spend your time and money. That's not true. What is
they owe me a winning franchise? God damn it!
I'm old of winning season and a playoff win and all that.
What does my man Ep say? You can't treat people like that. And they've been treating me like that for 30 years. If you were the New England Patriots, I have no problem with you keeping hush-hush, shutting up, doing whatever it is you got to do. You've earned my respect to be quiet and make decisions how you want to do it. You want to know why? Because you gave the fans rings. You put a consistent winner out there. Baltimore, same way. You want to be hush-hush? Ozzie Newsome and Steve Bisciotti, you want to shut? I have no problem. You consistently put out winners. Pittsburgh, same way. New Orleans, same way. But you're the Dolphins. You have been mediocre for 30 years. I want to know what your plan is. Because the way I'm looking at it right now, Mr. Stephen Ross, is that 3 years from now, within 3 years, it could be next offseason for all I know, we're going to be having this same conversation again. And I'm over it. I don't want that to happen no more. So Steven, you tell me, Mr. Ross, and you tell me, Mr. Greer, what as a fan I'm supposed to do to keep the positivity, because there isn't any. There's none. I love this team.
The only option they leave you with is to complain and cry.
And I have a right to.
The only option they leave you with is complaining.
And I think that's why there's been an uptick in Dolphin YouTubers the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, a significant increase of Dolphin content creators, you know, because we're just so frustrated, because we're so jaded, because we're upset that what this franchise has done the last 30 years, or since I've been a fan since 2001, they haven't done nothing. Every team has been more successful than us. Every team in the NFL has been more successful, or some measure of success. Whether we have more wins than them in this decade or 20 years or whatever, they still had more measure of success. That's what I'm mad about.
When is enough?
I mean, when is enough? When you just give up on your fanhood, I guess, for some people.
Can somebody explain to me why the Dolphins owe us nothing? Because I keep on seeing that in the options.
Bro, I'm sorry. They owe me, bro. They owe me.
Explain to me, who pays the players' salaries? People buying NFL Sunday ticket, people buying tickets, people like all this. It is the fans that do. So don't tell me that the Dolphins don't owe me anything. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All day. Yeah. And for you to sit there and be like, the Dolphins don't owe us anything.
Go to a restaurant and get cold food and send it back.
Bro, I done probably lost 5 years of my life expectancy rooting for these Dolphins, bro. I done probably lost 5 years of my life expectancy.
Facts.
Because
and I'm trying to get it
back. We ain't getting it back for shit. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see teams that I perceived that were below us are now ahead of us. Whether it's the Bengals, the Browns, the Bills, name whoever you want. That team has had better measures.
Look how many teams leapfrogged us that fast.
Yeah.
Look how many teams leapfrogged us that fast.
Explain to me.
That's true.
Why Cincinnati is in the AFC Championship game this weekend.
No, it's even worse than that, Steven. Cincinnati's in the championship game. They got just as much cap space as us. They got a better draft pick. They already got weapons. They already got at least half of the O-line. And they got just as much money as us with a better draft pick. So what makes us think that no matter what we do this offseason, we just supposed to pop up as one of the contenders?
Green Rat says, do you go to a movie and it sucks? Do you get your money back? And True Blazer says, the NFL is a business. You are the consumer.
Steven, can you go back to that question? Go back to that question about the movie. Do you go to a movie and it sucks, or do you get your money back? No, I'm going to get the money back. I'm mad at myself for going to that sucky-ass movie.
And by the way, I'm mad at myself. I have two things. Number one, I will never, ever not be a Dolphins fan. I love this team. I love going to Hard Rock on Sunday afternoons. It is hands down one of the best experiences besides being married to my amazing, lovely, most beautiful wife.
Gotta throw that
Clean
in
it
there.
up, Steven. Clean it up.
Gotta throw that in there. Gotta throw that in there.
And having two beautiful children. Besides those things, there is nothing better than going to Hard Rock on a Sunday afternoon. Now, with that being said, that I am it should be okay for me to say, Dolphins, I put a lot of money into you guys for 30 years, and I consistently get nothing in return. I get a great and let's get something straight. 90% of the experience that I have at Hard Rock on Sunday is because of the relationship that has been built through the Dolphins, but not because of the Dolphins. Because I'm going to tell you, if the tailgate wasn't as great as it was, I don't know if I would go to Miami a few times every year. I wouldn't. The tailgate is more, I look forward more to the tailgate than the Dolphins game itself. I'm just being real with y'all.
Being
real.
See, I've never I've gone to a game we've never lost. So it's just always been a great experience with me. Tailgate, the game, everything.
You need to get season tickets then.
Huh?
You need to get season tickets.
Travel from Jersey to Miami. Bro, I'm fucking 7-0 going to Dolphins game. I'm 7-0.
And somebody keeping up with D1's swear jar today. He got me
I
at
owe
least
a lot.
at
I owe a lot.
$30.
I get you.
You got me at least $30.
I owe you like 50.
D1 went in bankruptcy way earlier with me.
He was already at $20 earlier. He got me at 30 or 40 now. Look, I'm upset. And why are some fans like, people want to be like, bro, you why are you being so negative about the team lately? I've had people come out and tell me that, Steven, you're being negative about the team. Steven, you're spreading negativity.
It's frustration. It's just frustration.
It's frustration, man.
But here's the thing, Steven. I understand we're frustrated. We're voicing our frustrations out about what has happened in the past. I believe that we manifest energies whenever we speak on something. You can manifest that. And by us keep manifesting talking about the negativity, that's what we're going to get. I understand we want to be negative first so we won't get our feelings hurt later on when they fall on their ass. So
Bro, I spent 2 years manifesting positivity, and everybody can vouch for that. And it just really got us.
Stephen D about to send D1 an invoice to H&R Block.
Facts, I'm going to just give you my tax return, Steven. What a swear jar. Give me my tax return.
Yo, I mean, but like TD, you do a show like me almost every day. You do a live show. You deal with the fans the same way I do, actually on a bigger level because you're bigger than me. So I look at and I say, why is it that fans want to consistently fight each other over a team that has not done them any favors over the last 10, 15,
because
20
the
years?
organization has forced the fans to become a general manager for themselves. It's the truth. That's the fairest way I can put it.
Truer facts have never been said.
The organization has forced the fans to become general managers. We are all general managers now because we've seen the dumb decisions that were obvious. We've seen some smart ones that they didn't take care of. We've become the general managers. They've showed us so much incompetence that we are all qualified to run an organization now.
Because we know what not to do.
They have showed us so many ways of how not to do something that we all feel like we could run an organization.
There's a few times where I feel as though I could have picked better draft picks than what we have. And Austin Jackson was one of them. Austin Jackson, a novice would know not to draft Austin Jackson, bro. A novice.
Every year I think about doing this, and I should. Starting this year, I think I will just because of this conversation. But I'm always like, what I want to do is when we have a draft pick, I want to hit the pause button and look at the top 20 players available and pick 2 or 3 players that I would choose. Leave it up there, and in 5 years' time, I want to go back to it and be like, we could have had all of these players that I would have chosen over the person we've chosen. And I guarantee
we can do that in 1 year.
I guarantee you that I would have hit on 80% of my picks. 80% of my picks. Guaranteed.
The Dolphins always got to be the ones who go outside the obvious to make it seem like they know how to find
Get out of here. Finn's Tailgate says, Steven, that's because Tua and the organization always finds some polarizing issue. Quarterback or coach or GM for people to side with, then to people opposed to protect Ross. Steven, how much Finns fans are going to accept next year and on and on? Enough is enough, period. They owe us the best, not mediocre, over and over and over. We can say that, but how do we put that into working instead of just theory? Because here's the real talk. I don't think that boycotting them is the right thing. I don't think that.
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
The issue
And I would never say that.
That's why we're fighting. Because I think if the fan base was on the same page, we can actually influence the narrative.
But how do we do that?
Influence the decisions.
How do we do that?
That's what the war is about.
But what organization does that?
No. This is what I'm saying. If you got every fan saying this is what we want, and you got every media member saying this is what we want, because the media only do what the fans want for clicks.
Yep.
Or reading them articles.
Yep.
They'll cover the stories that sell. If our fan base was on the same, that's why when you talk about teams like Philly and all of that, why they known to be the hostile fans, because when they want something, put it like this. Here's how you do it. First of all, just want the best for the team. Want the best. Is there a better receiver than Waddle right now in the NFL?
You say, is there a better receiver than Waddle in the NFL?
Yeah,
I think he's top 10 wide receiver. Top 5.
but is there a better?
Yes, I think there
is. There's better.
I guess my point is this. Let me use Jalen Phillips. It'll be a better example. We know he's going to be a beast up and coming.
Yes.
But if we were talking about a young Aaron Darnold in his prime, right?
Yep.
We shouldn't be defending keeping Phillips when a team want to, and I know this ain't the case, but if a team want to just straight up swap the two players, the problem with this fan base, and I'm not trying to make this about Tua, this is about anything. The problem with our fan base, we'll defend Phillips instead of just going for the best.
Yep.
But how do you know? So that's the majority that feels that way, or the minority that's voicing their opinion?
Not the majority, because believe it or not, most of the issues that we disagree with is a minority. They're just very vocal. And
I've said that for a long time.
So if the minority is more vocal, how is it that, by your theory, the fan base is going to listen to us on who we want?
That's the problem. The problem is the majority are regular Dolphin fans. They
the casuals.
Yes, they are. We have more casual fans than people realize, because they have officially tuned out of Dolphins, and you won't hear from them until August.
Yep, 100%.
They have no idea what you do in the offseason outside of driving to work and hearing it on the radio. Oh, we got this player that's supposed to be good at the linebacker for next year, and don't even know nothing about don't know nothing. Don't know if it was a good pick or not.
Don't know nothing about nothing.
All of our fans that we wish that could just stand up and be more active and hold the team accountable.
And
fans that
by the way, there's a couple of not exclusions,
reasons,
right? Well, there's a couple of people that are exempt from that list, right? Like, I want to give you a theory. My girl, Dolph Freaky. Dolph Freaky makes a post on Twitter that goes viral. And the very next week, what changes? There are people that they brought TD back, the mascot. They brought giveaways back. They started throwing shirts. Like, she made a huge change based off of one Twitter post.
But that's for a fan experience, not picking draft picks or saying
and that was
I would think they better listen to their fans if they're complaining about the experience.
That
was during the regular season, when you have even the casuals active, Steven. Let me make a post that goes viral today. Oh, that's the least of our concerns right now.
You're not wrong.
Between August and January, we all live.
So
here's proof. Here's proof, Steven. You know, on your channel, what happened when the season started? I'll say around week 6. What happened to your channel? Didn't you see the big decline?
I did.
As soon as we start losing, people are like, "Oh, screw this crap."
Yeah, when you win, you get more views.
Yeah, exactly. So,
When
but
you
you
like,
also
No,
you
but you
also
all
get the fans
like,
more.
I'll be honest with you. I thought the moment the season was over, somebody's got a lot of background noise. I thought the moment the season was over, I thought I was going to lose viewers. I really did. I'm just being honest. I'm like, I got to start instituting more Panthers talk and Heat talk
No, that
and
comes,
baseball.
Steven, that's gonna come in the end right after the draft, Ghost Town.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it depends on where
No,
you are.
it's a little bit after the draft. Your views would tick up because fans. It's a little bit of football fever. The draft, there's optimism and all that. But those after the draft to training camp is the dull time.
Yes.
NBA playoffs
And
is where it starts.
Look. I'll say this. I think the case. The point I want to make about that statement is, Dolphins fans, I think it only I couldn't take this for 12 months out of the year dealing with all this. Like, there's no way. And so I understand that fans are pissed and upset, and as a fan, I am pissed and upset. All I want the Dolphins to do is act like they care. And for 30 years, I don't feel like they've acted like that. Well, then the question is, Steven, how does a franchise show their fan base that they care? They show their fan base that they care by putting the best by making the best decisions to put the best product out on the field. And there are plenty of things that I can point to over the last 2 or 3 years that have shown me that's not the case. That's not the case.
Was Wayne Huizenga better than Stephen Ross?
No, I think Stephen Ross is better than Huizenga.
Why is that?
Because I think that Ross, and maybe I don't need to think like this, but I think Ross cares. I just don't think he understands how to make the right decisions.
Ross is a bad fourth quarter player.
He cares. I think
What do you mean? What do you mean by that, TD?
I feel like Ross is the type of guy where we can always be headed in the right direction, but at the last minute, God, dog. I just feel like we're going to lose in the fourth quarter every time. I mean, just look at this rebuild. Look at what he did when he finally built the team around Tannehill, and then we had injuries and stuff we had to deal with, but we never could capitalize in that fourth quarter to get the 2 to 3 more pieces.
Let me one up TD. Watching Justin Herbert in that Raiders game, that last game of the year, where Herbert was consistently converting on 4th and long in that last couple of drives, right? Remember that? Remember that game? I would have had no hope with Tua on that. None. But Chargers fans had all the hope in the world. They didn't care that it was 4th and long. Our guy's going to get it. Our guy's going to get it.
But to be fair to Tua, it's not that I wouldn't have had faith in Tua. I wouldn't have had faith in this offense.
Okay, that's fine too. But still, Chargers fans had hope. We do not.
That's true.
And that's the point. My man Burrow got sacked 9 times in a playoff game.
And their best offensive lineman was the one getting abused all night.
And still won. And by the way, they're still playing this weekend. They're still actively in this thing. They have a shot to go to the Super Bowl.
Man, let's go Mahomes, because if Burrow go to the Super Bowl, I'm sorry. Y'all can call me -9. I'm going off. I'm rooting for Mahomes. I don't even want to experience it, bro. I need Burrow to lose. You've done enough. Good job. All right, your future's bright. But this man go to a Super Bowl, I'm done. I'm livid. I'm like going a whole nother level of just mad. I'm tired of being jealous.
Me too. But that doesn't change the fact that we're probably going to make the wrong decision here.
See, what people don't understand with me, man, the reason why I go so hard about this quarterback situation is because right now I want a better chance It still doesn't guarantee you nothing. I don't care who we bring in here. It don't guarantee you nothing. I just want a better chance than operating off of hope. But if we do move forward with Tua, they need to move heaven and earth and literally surround the heck out of him. I mean, make it the toppest notch you possibly can. The problem that I have with it is, and I blame the Dolphins, they should have put this kid from day one in a pro-style offense for 2 years and let him struggle. I would have accepted every pick he threw in a pro-style offense. It would have been just fine because he would have been growing in it. But now you talk about bringing in coaches that you know might move from the RPO and go pro-style like he should be in, and it's a new playbook. He already struggled in the pro style. So if he struggles this year, I'm going to understand that he's supposed to, but this is all he's going to have is this year.
He's not going to get a following one.
He's supposed to struggle. Now he might give us a miracle
this is
and ball out.
And let me pause you again. This is one of the reasons that this ownership and front office has not put the best opportunity to put the best product out on the field. They consistently are making the wrong decisions. So that's why the fan base is upset, man.
Yeah, that's why I go so hard about, man, let's just move on, because I feel like you wasted our time because you should have did this 2 years ago.
Yep.
You want to go ahead and put him in a new system with a new playbook and a new coach now. In that system, the pro-style system with a guy like his intangibles is hard, man. Josh Allen took freaking 2 years struggling in it just to finally get it. I mean, really, almost all these guys took 2 years struggling in it to finally get it. All of these guys you want to compare him with, they took about 2 years struggling in it to get it. And now you want to take him from an RPO and then put him in it and think he's just supposed to get it right away? Nope. They've already screwed him. And that's why I go so hard about, let's just move on. Stop. It's a waste of time. That's why I go so hard. Because he might end up being a great. But do we have another 3 years for him to do that?
We do not. And I have clearly said since day one that if he ever leaves to go anywhere else, he will be a successful Pro Bowl quarterback to it.
And maybe he shocks us, and in year one of a pro-style system, he just like, God, dog. Like, that could be a shocker. He could. But trust me, the odds are against him.
Yep. And by the way, I feel like when we make a statement, and I don't want to speak for TD, but I think he would agree with this, we're playing the odds on it. Odds are it's not going to be. And odds are, why do I say odds are? Because I have stats and a million different examples to back up those theories based on our franchise for the last 30 years, and we can go look at other franchises in the same particular situation over the last 30 or 40 years. So it's not like we're not saying that 1 out of a million can't happen, but what are the odds of 1 in a million happening with our franchise? Not good.
Steven, all they know about TD, all the people who learned about me in the last year and a half, all they know is this, TD. But they don't remember before we drafted Tua in the night that we drafted him. They don't know that I said you need to put him in a pro-style system right away. And if he gives us 20 picks in the first year, I'm fine with that because he's the type of guy that's kinesthetic. He's going to learn from his mistakes. And in year 2, if he still struggles, but you get small progress, he may give you 15 picks. Trust me. What I saw out of him in college, we're headed in the right direction. And I always said he's a year 3 guy. I've always said he was a year 3 guy where you're going to get your best from him. But when we took this RPO approach, the clock never started. The clock never started for his development. People like, you didn't see him develop. All they did is put him in a system that he already did well and did it more. That's it. That's not development. Development is developing in the areas that you struggled in. Last year, every time we ran the RPO, because last year I gave up. I said, okay, you have just told this fan base. I was yelling at my screen last year. I said, you have just told this fan base that you don't care about Tua's development and you want to run the RPO. So if that's what you want to do, Stop wishy-washy and only doing it 50% of the time. Do it 80% of the time if you want to win. Because if they would have did it 80% of the time last year, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We would have actually went to the playoffs even his rookie year. The RPO is a playoff system based off of this NFL, but it isn't a deep playoff system. Now, when I gave up on them trying to do pro style, I said, put him in an RPO then, because you basically told us you don't care about his development. And then when they want to act like they want to develop him, then why you didn't put him in this system? It's too late now. That's how I feel. But you got teams like Mac
do you
Jones.
think any QB will be able to mature or get better at their craft with the coaching staff that was put around on Tua? With the consistently
I would say,
changing position.
I would say no. It's not for me, bro. It wasn't really about maturing with the coaching staff. It was just about getting the experience in that system, getting the looks of defenses in that system. Do you realize defenses play us totally different than what they would play a pro style system?
Of course, yeah.
They line up shallow. I mean, this isn't what you know, in a pro style system, you get more of that 4-3 against it with the deep linebackers 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. We never get linebackers past 7 yards. We never get that 7-yard linebacker depth. We get 3 and 4 yard linebacker depth, bro. It's a whole different look based on the system. And that's why every itty bitty time we tried to switch to it, Tua looked his worst. Buffalo games, we try to do pro style, looked his worst. The part of the Saints game, Tennessee game, looked his worst. Because you tried to go pro style because those defenses said they were going to take away your RPO. They came out and lined up basically saying, you ain't running no RPO on us. We taking away all that stuff. You throw the ball, it's going to be trapped. At max, you getting 2 to 4 yards at best. And that's what Tennessee did. And then, so we just straight up did pro style. And then Miami struggled so much in pro style in the third quarter, they tried to run RPO, and they slapped them right back into pro style. 2 drives later, we were right back into pro style after 2 3-and-outs.
Wow.
He should have been in a pro style struggling. You're supposed to struggle. You're allowed to struggle. Freaking the Jaguars are letting their quarterback struggle in it. The Jets are letting their quarterback struggle in it. I mean, all of these teams are letting their quarterback struggle in a pro style. And look at what Joe Burrow did in the game last week. They started out pro style. He kept looking for Chase and Higgins, intermediate and deep. They took away the pro style. He was able to adjust to the short and intermediate, the quick game. He was able to adjust to it. But when you bottle Tua up in just short intermediate, we know at this point he can't adjust to the pro style if you just got to stay in that. And that doesn't mean he can't eventually, but if you ain't got him out here running it and failing in it, how will he ever succeed? That's what I was mad about with the organization in Tua early on. And at some point I said, screw it. They ruined him. Ain't no coming back for this. It ain't his fault. They ruined him. And I don't argue about Tua himself with people. I argue about what they see. And I don't say that it's his fault outside of learning the playbook. I still think that that's something he should be responsible for. But I don't never really say it's Tua's fault. I always say it on my channel, they screwed him. But every time I say that, it goes in one ear and out the other, and everybody only hear the other stuff. And I get labeled. I've been saying this, bro. This is not nothing new.
So you agree with the coaching change?
I actually, if everything that was told to me is accurate, I have mixed feelings about it. Flores has some ownership that he has to take. Shame on him. But at the same token, I can also understand where he's coming from, because here's why. I don't know what expectation they had of Flores. So let's go back to last year. Did they expect Flores to develop Tua or to win and make the playoffs last year? And we don't know the answer, but what do you think? And then I'll give you my answer.
Appreciate it, Bot 954.
You give me your answer on what you think it was. It could have even been both.
What's the question?
Did they expect Flores to develop Tua or make the playoffs or both last year?
I mean, I would like to say both.
No, not like to. We got to say what would have been the realistic expectation for Flores last year?
Make the playoffs.
So if the expectation was to make the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who started the season?
Tua.
This year? Tua.
Last year we're talking about. What was the expectation last year?
The expectation last year was
develop Tua, make the playoffs.
To get Tua ready.
Yeah, it was probably to develop Tua and make the playoffs second.
But both of them can go hand in hand, right?
Yes.
So here you are, got competing quarterbacks. I don't think anybody really argues. Yeah, Fitz should have earned the job to start out, right?
Well, Fitz, by the way, Fitz didn't play bad to begin with. Let's just get
he didn't, but he didn't play his best either.
No, that's true too.
And that defense was trash in the first 5 games because Byron was hurt. And they ran the same defense they ran the beginning of this year because Xavier Howard's knee.
And look and I don't know if this was said or not, but I believe that I heard this, that the moment Flores took over defensive play calling last year, not this past season, the season before it.
Everybody says that too.
Yep.
But here's the deal. This is the point I'm trying to make. So if you want us to win, here we are starting to win. Remember, we still had a decent record with Fitz, right? It wasn't out of contention like this year, right?
Yep.
And then the defense got back to his normal. We got Fitz and we blowing people out. I mean, we were putting up points. But then that Jets game, Tua takes the next 2 snaps and we actually win again. We got a winning record, ladies and gentlemen. And the defense is starting to lead the way. So now we insert Tua, but we don't insert him in a pro style. We start out with an RPO. And we play that and we struggle in an RPO a little bit, but he plays decent enough to keep on going. But then when we deal with games like Denver, where they took away the first read and sent pressure, which is an RPO killer, and they force you to go to a pro style, we tried to go to a pro style and we got murdered. And they had to bring in Fitz, and we almost won that game, but couldn't at the end. Same thing with the Raiders. They killed that RPO. We tried to switch to a pro style. It didn't work. We bring Fitz in and we win the game, right?
Yep.
Right there, we were just trying to win because that was an expectation of the team to make the playoffs, a wild card. So out of all of that, the only way they knew that they were going to win starting out is by putting Tua in an RPO because it gave us the best chance to win. But again, his first year, he never got a chance to develop because a young quarterback, you develop him starting out in a pro-style offense. RPO is supposed to be a wrinkle of a pro-style offense that you throw in here and there. But we gave him 60% RPO. And then to add insult to injury, we come into this season and we give the kid 75% RPO pretty much. We give him more of what he does well. That's why his numbers increased as well. His completion percentage increased because they stopped throwing in all that pro style all the time, trying to see if it'll work. So 2 years of your young quarterback not developing. Everybody thought that the RPO he was developing in. Yes, he was developing in the RPO, sharpening the knives in it.
So is that why Charlie Fry is no longer here? I like color commentaries.
You know, that's an interesting one. I have no clue. I haven't even asked the people that I know about Charlie Fry, but that's real interesting. That's real interesting. Why is Charlie Fry
commentary
going
had a
now?
good thing here. He said it was Fry's job to get Tua into the pro set.
Yeah, but if you're not running it on game day, but I will say this, and y'all could say, oh, them just rumors. Everybody I talk to, that man looks terrible in practice in the pro-style offense, and that's why those players been coming out. That's why that anonymous players say this is not about game day.
That's such a punk move. I've been saying that now. Like, I don't like that article.
But you got to look at what's being said, Steven.
It's a punk. But it's a punk. It's a punk.
Yeah.
Who said that when most of the defense is young?
Yeah, but no, this is a veteran saying this.
Well,
obviously.
they said it wasn't
there's
X.
not many
They said it
veterans
was
on this
not
team.
X.
Well, there you have it. One of those few. But remember the glaring thing they said. People need to stop talking about game day. I see him every day. Practice. I am basing this off of me seeing him every single day. And the people that I talk to, whether people want to say is credible or not, Tua is not good in practice when they try to run pro-style offense.
All right, guys.
You think, remember it was a monsoon and raining and everybody say he threw them 6 picks because of the rain?
Yep.
That wasn't RPO. A lot of those days in practice is not RPO. They see this man every day in practice. And again, I don't blame him. I blame the fact that we didn't let him look like trash his first 2 years, like all these other teams are allowing their guy to do to get the experience in it.
So you blame partly Flores.
Yeah, but that's why I say I sympathize, because you put him in a hard place. How would Flores look if he let that be 2 years of pro style offense and we won 5 games every year and they expect him to win games? He had to create an offense that Tua would look serviceable in.
Yeah, but
they succeeded doing that.
There's other offenses where they can
succeeded.
insinuate Tua's strengths. Yes, by the RPO you could use that also, but also there's other schemes you could put Tua in that he can be successful in.
Well, this is where you take Tua out of the equation, because this hurt Tua too. And I've always acknowledged this, even though people act like I never have. You also couldn't put him in other schemes outside of the pro style, like West Coast and all of that, because you don't have the O-line for it.
That's all I was going to say. That he'd be a good West Coast quarterback. West Coast quarterback accentuates his strengths.
I've
with his short field passing spread out.
They should have went West Coast, but then when I really think about it, now you ain't got the O-line for it. The only option you have with this personnel is pro style or RPO.
So are you blaming Tua and what he does on why we run the RPO so much, or do you blame what the factors around him?
Okay. No, I'm not. That's what I keep trying to tell people. I don't blame Tua. I blame the organization, because if they were fair, they would have said, Flores, we're not expecting you to win. We just really want to invest in Tua getting better around this team. If that comes with losses, if he would have had that clear message and he would have ignored that, 100% blame. But what can you do as a coach when you're expected to make the playoffs, a wild card at least, and you want to go through that?
100%.
So that's why I never blame Tua. I'm blaming the organization. But after I've already recognized that they screwed Tua, I'm like, we got to get off of this. They don't understand. He's going to take a few years to get to where he need to be if we start the process right. And you know he only got 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. That's why I'm so adamant about moving on, because I feel like I just don't want to waste time. Everybody wants to go into
I understand you don't want to waste time. People call me a Tua-neer and stuff, but I understand the strengths and weaknesses of what Tua has, and I understand what has been around him and the situations that is around him. And that's why I'm giving him 3 years or this next season to prove to the fans or the organization, whoever he needs to prove it to, that he's the franchise quarterback. And I feel as though there's nothing wrong with going 3 years with a player.
Look, all right, real quick.
My thing
hold on, TD. I want you to respond to that. We're gonna do about another 10 or 15 minutes on the show. I do and because we had such a small panel today, instead of doing final thoughts, we're gonna do a super chat, Dolphin chat panel or a question. So if you want to ask the panel on the question, whether it's me, TD, D1, use the hashtag Dolphin Chat and donate to the channel using the super chat. So we're going to do a super chat question time for the last 15 minutes. Donate to the channel, ask a question, use the hashtag Dolphin Chat. All right, go ahead, TD, respond.
Dang, I forgot. What, say it again, bro.
D1. D1, you there?
Yeah.
TD wants you to ask that question again.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I even forgot.
Well, I was just stating that I feel people want to call me 2 and near, 2 and out, whatever like that, but I believe in giving a player 3 years.
And I agree. I agree. I actually
like,
see there's nothing wrong with being a 2 and near. Here's where the issue comes. If we did it right the first time, I believe Tua might have become a good quarterback. Now, whether he would be above that, that's just up to him. He got to come out and prove, where we can put his ceiling. But since we've dropped the ball 2 years in a row, and then to add on top of dropping the ball, you threaten his job the whole time anyway. You don't understand all the pile on him. You might as well say he's been in college for the last 2 years. That he don't have no NFL experience. You could almost say
experience, that. TD, he's getting the experience. Whether it's good experience or not, he's getting the experience.
And
he's in the NFL facing NFL teams.
But the problem is, Tua Tagovailoa is a kinesthetic learner. And the issue with that is he can't learn from something he ain't experienced. And the problem is, if he not out there on game day experiencing all the looks that you get it from a pro-style offense, expect for his first go-around to look rough. But the second go-around to look better, and the third go-around to look the best that he'll ever give you. Because that's what kinesthetic learners do. They're the best people that they don't make mistakes more than 2 times. They learn from them. But if you never put him in a situation to make mistakes, then he ain't learning. And I think it's going to be so unfair.
So isn't that a job of a good coach is to put the quarterback in practice, training camp, all season, all that, to put them in uncomfortable situations?
Yep. It's their job.
So they can get used to it and get better at it.
And
instead of trying to coddle them and just keep them in this box, because this box you can win with.
But I think we're agreeing, but there's one element I think you keep forgetting. They're wrong for doing that if they wanted to just develop him like they should have. But if they wanted to win, what did you expect them to do? That's all I'm saying. You're right, bro. But if the problem was that front office expected at least a wild card last year, when that should have never been the expectation. It should have never been the expectation. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think
this year was a win now mode.
I don't think they expected it until the third quarter of the season. Because remember, it was all good at first.
Bro, when the season started, I didn't expect to be in win now mode. When the season started, I knew we still had weaknesses. We still had questions on the O-line. We still had questions about the running game. So coming into this year, I didn't think this was a win now season until Flores had that press conference saying that these are his guys that he can win with. Yeah. Which made me change my mind. Oh, well, hey, if the coach thinks this is the roster right here, then I got to go by what the coach is saying, even though I feel as though we still don't have the linebackers to run this scheme or the scheme that he wanted to run.
And Ross told you that Ross reaffirmed that in his press conference last week.
All right, guys. Krista Lacus donated earlier, so I'm going to let him ask his question. He donated earlier. Thank you for the donation. D1, what has Tua shown you that he deserves a third year?
For one, he has made improvements, whether it be big or small in his game. He has made certain improvements. We saw him push the ball a little bit further down the field. Is he bad in the intermediates? Yes. But when it comes to deep passes, he has made strides in that and had a high completion percentage on it, on the amounts that he took on, that he took. 2, I still love Tua's pocket presence. Whether you want to hate on him or not, he makes the O-line better. Where you want to say maybe the RPO makes him look better and not get sacked as much. The man only got sacked 20 times, and we led the league in pressures. We had 3 O-linemen tied for first and giving up pressures. For 3, if we're going, the most important thing in the RPO is the R, which is running, and we can't do it consistently. So how can I judge a quarterback when he has horrible O-line play, a non-existent run game, and all defensive coordinators have to do is just game plan for Tua and nothing else. Why doesn't he not deserve a third year with a different coaching staff, maybe a little bit better players around him?
And I can answer that, in my opinion, why he doesn't. And again, I want to first say it's not his fault for the reason he doesn't, because I believe every quarterback deserves 3 years at a minimum if you're going to put them in a type of system you want to run from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And 80% of this league, 90% of this league, well, 80% of this league wants to run a pro-style system. The rest wants to run a West Coast, and who else runs an RPO? One or two teams? You know,
a lot of teams
Baltimore
have an RPO in their
right.
playbook. It's not the base.
So real. And last point, Steven, the reason why, again, I don't think he deserves a third year has nothing to do with him. It's because we didn't use the first 2 years to do what we were supposed to do for him to deserve the third year. Now, if we go into this third year, we're basically putting him in year one.
All right, color commentary has the next question, and I'll let TD go first, then D1. TD, Color donated. Guys, donate to the channel. Get your question on. Color, TD, and Shake Money both donated earlier, so I'm going to let Shake Money's question go after this. But Color said, hashtag Dolphin Chat. Where is that ceiling for Tua? TD, I'll start with you.
As of right now, the ceiling is good. That's everything around him. A good quarterback.
D1?
I think Tua's ceiling is a 9 to 10 win quarterback, and that's with inadequate coaching. He can get you 9 to 10 wins. I mean, everybody wants to give the Flores the credit for having double back-to-back winning seasons, but Tua is the quarterback behind those back-to-back winning seasons. Even
you
though
do realize it sounds like you're insulting him, right?
How so? Insulting Tua?
9 to 10 wins? I even got him at 11. Good.
I mean,
9 to 10 wins is above average quarterback.
You think that? I would think like 12 or something. So
9 to 10, you can't make the playoffs with him.
Well, that's what I said with what he has now around him. That was the 9 to 10 win ceiling.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said what he has around him now and what he's had the last 2 years is a 9 to 10 win quarterback. Now, if he can get some
ceiling.
Yeah. But I can't, like I said, I can't judge Tua 100% based on what he's had to deal with. I wish I could give you an emphatic no, Tua is not our franchise quarterback. But I'm not doing that because I recognize what we've done and what we've not done. I don't think any quarterback would have been successful with what had to deal with what Tua had to go through.
Yeah, right, and I don't think many quarterbacks would be successful either, but some would have been a little better.
I mean, what's a little better? He went 8-4 this year.
So are we saying Joe Burrow wouldn't have been better with the same situation?
No, I don't think so. No.
Wow. Okay. So basically, you put them even.
That man has 3 number 1 receivers in the top. He got 3 number 1 receivers in the top 5 running back.
Okay. Tua's just as good as Burrow, right?
No, I'm not saying Tua's just as good as Burrow.
Okay. Well, then, if there's a differentiation between them, then why wouldn't he be a little better in the same situation?
Because I don't think Burrow would have been able to handle not having any semblance of a run of an O-line. I don't think he'll have any semblance of being able to hand the ball off to Joe Mixon, who's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, but when Ryan Fitzpatrick can do it in the system, then somebody else can.
Ryan Fitzpatrick been in that system for 7 years with on 3 different teams.
All I'm saying is there's levels to it. Somebody can be better behind that system. That's all I'm saying. There are quarterbacks that could play better.
I don't think so. You name Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it was a 16, 17-year veteran who's been in the system for 7 out of the 17 years that he's been in the league and been with that coach on 3 different teams. I mean, I would expect him to do better. Fitzpatrick he's not the wily veteran I mean, Burrow's not the wily veteran like Fitzpatrick is.
I'm sorry. I just, for me to say a guy like that wouldn't be better. I mean, you could take somebody who ain't been in the league that long. Take a Josh Allen. Would he be better with this O-line?
Will Josh Allen be better with this O-line and with the same
Yeah.
weapon?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be like Josh Allen how he is now. No.
He would impact the game more, though. That's all I'm saying to you, bro.
Yeah, he'll impact the game more. He'll be able to get out of trouble, extend the play because the O-line is so horrid. But that's the thing. We knew Tua wasn't no escape artist type of guy. He needs to have a solid O-line.
And that's why you go get a guy who may be able to be an escape artist so that you ain't got to do as much. You understand?
Yes, I understand. It's basically the same thing that Louis Riddick said or somebody said. He was like, you can't replace 5 O-linemen, but you can replace 1 quarterback. So you might as well change the quarterback. Because but what does that do? So we'll get a few more wins, and then when it's the big games and people are able to manipulate the O-line and no run game, then we lose?
No, because here's the frustrating part about it. Just like we want to give Tua time, even that same O-line may even grow and get better. We're already at the rookie seasons and sophomore seasons writing our O-line's future as well, which is unfair.
Well, first of all, you probably haven't heard, since I've said, because the offensive staff and coaching was horrible and how Greer has hit on most of his defensive picks the last 3 years, minus the Noah Benogany.
Mm-hmm.
I am fully believing that our O-line is not as bad that they show. It is coaching.
Okay.
I firmly believe that. Like, Eichenberg didn't look this bad in college. I understand college and the pros are different.
I agree with that one.
He didn't look bad.
Hey, let me get this last question in here, guys. All right, so Shake Money had more of a statement, but I knew what his question was from before. The last 3 coaches Miami hired are going to get the assistant coaches. I'm thinking this is an organizational thing that they couldn't get the assistant coaches right. Do you guys feel that it's an organizational thing that we can consistently not get even the assistant coaches right? Or is this all on every head coach that's come through the door?
Well, I'll say, in my opinion, first of all, people need to understand they act like it's easy to attract talent. Just like you want a free agent. We want Calvin Ridley. How many other teams want him? Why would he want to come to Miami? And you see what I'm saying? It's not even easy to just get a great staff. And I always say that about Brian Flores. Who was he supposed to convince to come the first year when you were going to break the whole team down? That they knew they were going to have a bad resume just from the first year alone.
I thought Flores was going to be the different Belichick disciple because Belichick allowed him to take coaches from the Patriots staff. Belichick never allowed a coach to do that left to become a head coach somewhere else. So that's what I thought was going to be different about Flores. But then after 1 year, he fired most of the people that came with him from the Patriots coaching staff.
But at the same token, a lot of people wanted answers after the first year.
Mm-hmm. Well, we knew why he fired Chad O'Shea, the OC, because he said that the offense was too complicated. And receivers was running the wrong route.
But go back. Why did he say it was too complicated?
Because the receivers wasn't.
Because Tua couldn't grasp it.
Bro, Chad O'Shea wasn't here when Tua was here.
No, you said it was too complicated
was the first year.
with Chan Gailey.
No, I'm talking about the coaching, the QB coach that we took from New England.
You talking about the year before when Ryan Fitzpatrick was here and they were trying to develop Josh Rosen.
Yes, the same year.
Same thing. Yeah. Same thing. But the same thing happened with Chan Gailey. The same thing happened with Chan Gailey.
But you do know those last 5 weeks of the first year of Flores when Chad O'Shea was the OC, Fitzpatrick was just calling his plays.
Yeah, but I'm talking about early on, they were trying to find their future quarterback and they were trying to develop Josh Rosen.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Shea couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that was the first failure.
I never believed in Rosen.
Well, we didn't believe in him, but they were investing in seeing if he could spring up to be the guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why
they took a fly.
Was the bridge.
Yeah.
And then it was Tank for Tua time, and Chang who was it? Chan Gailey said the same thing. He said, "I believe Tua will get it. It's just a matter of when." Those were his exact words. I believe he'll get it. It's just a matter of when. Because they asked him about, is there a difference of a playbook between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua? And Chan Gailey said, yeah, there is. I give you what you can handle. And I believe Tua will get it. It's just a matter of when.
Well, what about the time where the O-line coach told the first year here, the O-line told Flores that Michael Dieter wasn't ready.
Which one? The one that was on coke?
The one that he wasn't here with Flores, the dude that was on coke, Chris Forrester. That's gay.
No, I'm sorry, bro. But when we go 3 years back, it kind of
they all get jumbled up. I understand. But the guy told him in preseason, the O-line coach told him Michael Dieter wasn't ready. Okay. And now in year 3, it seems as though Michael Dieter is somewhat ready. But Flores fired that O-line coach when he told him the truth. He told him the truth about one player.
But that's unfair for us to say that he got fired because of Dieter.
I'm not saying he fired him because of what he said about Dieter. But the man told you he wasn't ready, and we still try to force him in there.
But regardless, that first unit, that O-line that we had that year, do you realize that we got zero production out of it?
Yeah, I mean, we just tore it apart by trading away Tunsil. I understand that.
And accountability had to take place, bro. I mean, that's the name of the game in the NFL.
All right, but doesn't that say something about how it seems though that you can't even go to Flores and tell him something negative without him?
You're insinuating that they said, "Hey, this guy ain't ready." Oh, well, I'm gonna fire you. Regardless, Flores
that
allowed
O-line
that
coach he fired in the offseason.
Everybody that got fired, I remember on the O-line coaches, they got 3 to 4 different chances to have different lineups before they got fired. Every single one of those coaches, okay, well, now they're going to move this person over there. Now they're going to try this person there. All of them got several opportunities and then got fired. So I didn't say that is just because you come to him and say, and another thing.
You're welcome, Shake Money. Thank you.
And another thing, when they bring in the talent, even if they really are trash, if you can't move numbers, they fire you anyway. They look at their draft pick more than you anyway. That's the name of the game in the NFL. They've hired you to move numbers, make something out of nothing.
Hey, Daddy Dean asked, do you think we will get some Saints players, as in running backs, Alvin Kamara, or any offensive linemen?
The Saints got to draft some of them players. They
I'd rather draft a running back. I want the O line. If that O line is gonna be disassembled, I want at least 2 people. Give me Cesar Ruiz, Eric McCoy, freaking Tyrone Armstead, freaking Ryan Ramczyk.
I'll be honest with you. I would love to go out and get Alvin Kamara. I would love to get Kamara. I think he'd be such a great welcome addition.
So would you pay Armstead $23 million?
Well, I said the guy I want is in Kansas City right now, and that's
I kind of do.
What's his face? Orlando Brown. I want to pay Orlando. Is it Orlando?
You think they're not going to resign him?
I don't. I think he's going to go.
They traded for him.
I got that, but I don't know. There's been. I mean, I'm not on Kansas City chats or anything, but the word around the NFL seems to be he's going to go into free agency.
So we're not good at RB, but I would like Duke Johnson back next year. That's a given. I
want Duke Johnson back.
I want him. I still want to draft a running back, but I want Duke here for veteran presence, and he's better than everybody currently on the roster at running back.
I don't disagree with that.
That man single-handedly got us. Well, we only had 3. Yeah, we only had 3 100-yard RBs all year, and he's responsible for 2 of those in the last month of the season. I want that man back.
Yeah, he deserved to be in one of the backs.
This is Spread Kindness Friday on Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Had a great little panel today, but this is Spread Kindness Friday. And so before I let the guys make their, final takes of the day for Spread Kindness Friday, I just want to state something personal, y'all. So I'm actually going to stay on. I'm not letting you guys go. I'm just putting myself on the big screen. So let me do this first. There we go. So personally, the reason I do Spread Kindness Friday is because, there's a lot of negativity that happens in this world, right? There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of people that feel lonely and depressed, and I deal with depression and anxiety every single day. And I don't think we realize that sometimes our words or a lack thereof words can be hurtful and really bring down the wrong type of energy to people. So I say that because I think there's people in our phone, right, that we haven't spoke to in a really long time, and you never know what somebody's going through. You never know how bad somebody is feeling, or just feeling alone. And there was somebody who lives in the building next to me. I live in an apartment complex here in northern Baltimore, and my neighbor downstairs, who's a very great, amazing lady, knew this person that lived in the building next to us. And all of a sudden there was sirens and stuff outside of our home yesterday, and cops, and there was somebody who had took their own life, and they lived alone, and they were very lonely. And the friend was like, I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have seen it. And I think we just need to realize that there are people that we know that just need somebody to know that they care, that just need to know that somebody cares about them and what they are going through. And you never know what somebody's going through if you don't reach out to people. So my homework for you guys this weekend on Spread Kindness Friday, my homework for you is to reach out to somebody that you have not spoken to in a long time, that you are friends with, and just be like, it can be as little as a text message of, hey, I'm thinking about you. We haven't talked in a while. How you doing? You never know. That could literally save somebody from the edge. So my hope is that you really take that and you do something with that today. There's 150 of y'all watching right now. If all 150 people chose to text somebody in their phone today that they haven't spoken to in months, that I really want you guys to do that. That is that. I want your likes. I want your donations. Don't get me wrong. But what I really want is to bring the people together and know that people are not alone in this world. And that's why I do Spread Kindness Friday. So what I really want from you guys is to reach out to somebody you haven't reached out to in a long time and spread some kindness. That's all I want from you guys this weekend. So I hope that you guys do that. I hope you guys enjoyed the great show. But that's my Spread Kindness Friday for y'all. But I'm going to let these guys do their final thoughts of the day, as well as hopefully a spread kindness thing that you can preach to people that they can also do this weekend. Give them another way to spread kindness some way this weekend. So I'll start with my man, Smoke McCorkle.
Yo.
I love some smoked McCorkle with barbecue sauce with a little bit of tuo on the side. It tastes good. Thank you on the show, Steven. Want to apologize for earlier. TD, I apologize. We get fired up on here and everything like that, talking about a team that we love and has been failing us for 20 to damn 30 years. So, and to you, Steven, I know you may not want to, but let's spread positivity too this offseason. Let's spread it.
I do want to spread positivity.
I mean, I know you feeling negative about this carousel that we're going through yet again, the coaching carousel. It seems like every 3 years we're gonna have a new coach. I mean, that's what that's what it looks like from the last 5 hirings. Like every 3 years is a new coach or something. Every leap year. But go Dolphins. I expected this to be an exciting offseason. One of the most exciting off seasons in a long time, is if y'all don't believe that.
Hey, look, $80 million potentially that we could have, to spend.
We can reshape this team. We can reshape the offense into whatever image the new head coach wants it to be. And I mean, back-to-back winning season, I expect a third one. And whatever that brings, I don't know.
Hey, we'll see. But hey, man, Spread Kindness Friday. TD, go ahead. Why I still have McCorkle up here. Smoke McCorkle.
No, I appreciate it, bro. And I apologize for earlier as well. If I said anything that definitely was unfavorable to you. At the end of the day, I know who you are. I know the type of person you are, and at the end of the day, I rocks with you. it was nothing but love anyway. We just had a heated debate over the Miami Dolphins, and that's what they got us doing. And hey, it is what it is, man. But it ain't, we good, bro. I don't want anybody to ever think that even from this point on that me and you have an issue. We are good. And I'm glad you told that story, Steven, man, because if I can add on to it for
Go ahead,
15
man.
seconds.
Yeah, take all the time you need. Go ahead.
No, I don't need much, but I had a friend in high school. It wasn't even a friend, just somebody I knew that was in high school with me that we didn't talk like friends, but hey, what's up? Okay, and kept it moving, never really established a personal relationship or nothing like that. But a week ago was on Facebook talking about they were going to end it all. And I haven't spoken to this person in 20 years, bro. And I sent the message saying the person that I remember lived always had a smile on their face, always had joy, always had this and that at the end of the day. And I said some kind words and some encouraging words and everything. And then I got a reply 2-3 days later, basically saying if it wasn't for that message, things could have been totally different. So I agree with you. Sometimes you want to reach out to people that ain't even crying. And I ain't saying crying in a bad way, but
You don't know what people are going
that's
through,
not
man.
crying
You never
out
know.
online. If you ain't heard from them in a while, even if it's a text and you don't talk to them, hey, been thinking about you. What's going on? So that's what it is, man. So spread kindness, and that's a kind thing to do. Reaching out to people, man. So that's why I always love Spread Kindness Friday. But Steven, you owe me about 50% of the swear jar today.
Look, first of all, the person below us here, he owes at least $50 to the
First
swear
of all,
jar
you
today.
just had the most amount of viewers today than you ever have. I think I would think I should get like some off on the swear jar. I should get a discount.
All right. You know what? I will give you 35% off the swear jar. So
hey, I still need about 50%, baby.
So we're splitting the remaining 65%. Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
I gotta get up out of here. I'm gonna be live in like 30 minutes, bro. So I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna pull an all dayer again because
and real quick, just so y'all know, I will be on at 3:15 on the 5 Reasons Sports Network on Alex Dono's show later. So make sure you check out Dono daily. I'll be on his show for about 15-20 minutes talking all things Dolphins on Dono's show later. But yeah, go check out TD. Go check out my man. There. Yeah, man, it'll be great, man. You go from me to TD to Dono. It'll be a great afternoon on Friday. Just listening to Dolphins talk.
Yeah, so I'm out of here, fellas. I got to get ready for this stream.
Anybody gonna have a surprise stream pop up when we hire our coach probably tomorrow?
Yeah, if we do, I usually hit it right away.
TD has literally walked off my stream to be like, bro, I gotta go. There's breaking news. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Like, yes.
Just like right now, we've agreed with the Baltimore Ravens to trade Xavier Howard.
Yeah, right. Get out of here, TD. I'm kicking you off after that because you know that's a lie. Lies, TD, lies. All right, hey, you're the man, D1. I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, man. Thank you for the show, Steve.
No, man. Thank you for coming on today.
Great show.
I appreciate it, man. Guys, this is Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. I really hope y'all enjoyed the show today. I enjoyed it with you. What I'm going to do, if y'all can, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. If you didn't get a chance to watch all of this today, please go back and watch it. There's a lot of things that you missed. It was a great, amazing show today. I really hope that you guys did that. Let's have a don't say negative nothing negative about quarterbacks day. Spread kindness is so important and true. I like it, man. I like it. Yeah, so make sure you guys go check that out. And let me real quick, I'm gonna leave y'all with a little bit of because I like this song. Let me put this on. Video file. Downloads. There we go. All right, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with this today. This is for y'all. This is for everybody. I'll see y'all Monday on Dono and Daily. Make sure you check out Dono and Daily Mondays, 9:30 a.m. I'll see you.
I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it.
out, I couldn't feel